Hello. Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. We're so glad you could attend. Come inside. Come inside.
Ooh.
Danielle, is your microphone on?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Wow. It's a very silent laugh.
I just envisioned him in some sort of van.
Welcome to episode 85 for Schnozzcast for Friday, August 7th, 2020. So, good evening.
Good evening.
This is Bob. Cue the graphic.
You got it.
And to my immediate left, Mr. Nicholas J. Bader, Esquire.
Well, howdy doody, everyone.
Oh, that's a new one.
With you guys tonight.
To his not so immediate left, Mr. Cory Selesky.
Oh, hey.
Hey-o. And to his slightly delayed left,
Wait, why is my left delayed?
slightly.
Okay.
We've missed her. She's back after a long hiatus, touring the Philippines
The Galapagos.
and the subcontinent. Ms. Danielle Finn.
Hello.
Sweating to the oldies tonight.
Oh yeah. Did you make it?
Yeah, I did.
Woo! You want to explain what you were doing?
I was running in place
Why?
to warm up and close my move ring.
There you go.
Those knees were getting up past the chest. Just so you know, that was not just a run in place.
High stepping.
Nick played music for me too,
I did.
Well, otherwise you just look stupid. And now it looks like a music video.
right?
Yeah. So hopefully everybody out there is doing well. Let's jump into housekeeping. We may have a few new listeners tonight, Cory, because over the last week or so we've had a really good August. I'll just say we have gotten more downloads in August, even though it's only the 7th, than we have for any month that we've ever done this. We're at 400%.
Only 400?
444%. Sorry.
You knew better.
To be specific, over July, over the last 30 days. And we've already had more downloads than any other day we've done this. So we must be doing something right.
We always have been. I think just took some people a little bit longer to catch on.
It does take the people.
You know.
You need the people.
Sometimes
Where are the people? You look around, you see no people. Where are the people?
You're a very bad man. Very bad man.
So, yeah, we've... but and Nick's got... What stats do you want to share from your Instagram work this week? So.
Yeah, so we've been doing a lot of networking on Instagram, reaching out to some companies, things like that. Still waiting back on a couple of those prospects. But as far as followers, we're at 1,498, up from about 1,300 a couple weeks ago. So about to break the 1,500 mark. So that's pretty exciting. Instagram's Instagram. That's great. We love having followers. But, Bob telling us the downloads is telling us that we're doing something right. So if you have that many people that are physically downloading, then Instagram doesn't mean as much as that does to me. So
Well, that's how they get there, though.
yeah,
So
absolutely. It's all about segueing people into that direction. So
Yeah. So, I think we started, coming back to the Schnozzcast bunker, where it was all the Cory show with, switcher, new software, camera angles. We look better. We're running through the mixer now, so we sound better. So it was time for you and I to step up our game.
well, we had to. I mean,
We can't let Cory hog the spotlight.
I can never live in a
many weeks
world
in a
where
row.
Cory is doing something right.
Not for that many weeks in a row.
No.
I feel like that is not the first time that's been said whatsoever on this podcast.
It's the first time I've ever heard it.
No, what I said before in the past was I can't live in a world where Cory Selesky is right.
You have said that.
So I can't live where you're doing things that are right.
What a world you can't live in.
I know. But you're in it as well.
Oh, I guess that's all that
Nothing
matters.
from Danielle on that?
No.
No snarky comments? No.
No, I'm good.
Oh, you should see from the world from my perspective.
Oh, boy.
Nothing?
Nope.
Low-hanging fruit basket.
My rose-colored
Wow.
spectacles.
I believe in
Well,
it.
at least you're juggling his low-hanging fruit very well. So I think that's it for housekeeping. We've just been putting in a lot of the background work, and hopefully, if you're new to the show, hopefully it's paying off. So welcome. We're gonna kind of lay it out for you. Well, I'll lay it out for you right now. What the hell? Well, here's what we're going to try to do. We're going to
give away our secrets.
Are there really going to be secrets though?
No, there's no secrets whatsoever.
So we kind of try to divide the show up into segments. So it's a little bit different than when we first started. For the first 6 months or so, we were just basically talking about everything and anything with no structure whatsoever and having a great time. But you tend to realize that the only people that you're really entertaining when you do that is yourselves. So if you really want people to listen to you, you have to try to give a little bit of structure. So we're going to go into a little booze news next. And then perhaps after that, might talk about the killer robot of the week. Now that we have Ms. Danielle Finn back in our midst, we might pull out Danielle's word box and then try to talk about our gentleman's agreement trades before we take a break midway. So that's just a little bit of what's coming. So let's jump into a little booze news then, Cory.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. You want me to kick it off? I'd be more than happy to.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. I had one article for today. This is from TechCrunch. They had an article about a podcast or a podcast assistance company called Artifact. And they're backed by startup capital. But I can't remember exactly how I came across the article, but when I was reading it, I thought, why did we not think of this? And, oh my God, how rich would we be if we had? Essentially, Artifact is a company that has recently launched. What they do is, it started when one of their founders lost his grandfather. And he started thinking about all the things he didn't know about his grandfather, things that he wished he'd talked to him about his life throughout the course of his life. So he was involved in, a podcast with his buddies at the time, and they started to try out doing a more personal podcast. So what they do is, if you want to celebrate someone in your life, like your mother, your father, your grandfather, aunts, uncles, people that are important to you in your life, and you want to get their story, you can hire them, and they will do professional interviews, very personal and detailed interviews just on that person for a fee. But they'll bring in their professional, interviewers, and they'll do professional slick editing for it. They'll bring in a couple of different people, and they'll talk to friends, they'll talk to their relatives to sort of start to piece together stories from their lives. Not necessarily like, here's my life story, but everybody knows somebody like that's important to you, that has 3 or 4 like killer stories that kind of illustrate who they are, or things that they did in their life where you always wanted to know more about that. Like if you had a relative that fought in Vietnam, or if you had a grandfather who started a business and now they're really rich, and you want to try to find out, well, how did you get to where you are today? That sort of stuff. So really kind of an interesting story about what they're doing, and it seems so simple where I'm like, God damn it. Why did we not think of that?
Yeah, it makes sense to have that and have that recorded, and something that you'd be able to pass along in your family. Mm-hmm. But like, let's say Grandpa George is like, oh hell no, I'm not doing this interview.
Well,
that would definitely be my grandfather.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking for the most part. Like,
you're gonna pay for this. I assume you're gonna work it out ahead of time where you're.
Well, that's
He didn't like receiving Christmas presents.
Yeah,
so.
I was gonna say I don't. Man, I'd say it's gonna be a hard 50-50 on a lot of grandparents out there actually being like, yeah, I'll sit down and do this. Like, because I know, like, personally, if I would have asked my mom's mom, my boosh, she'd be like, yeah, fuck no, we're not doing that.
Really?
As much as I could have been like, boosh, this will be great.
Right.
It'll be something that's going to be recorded, and we can pay. And then the second I said that, then she'd also shut that down. And
oh, you're doing this because you think I'm going to die?
Yes. You got to be right front. Yes, I am. Because you're. We've got minutes here. Actually, if you could just decide real quick.
Camera crew's outside.
I got to write the check. Yeah, this is only going to take a couple hours. Hopefully, you can make it through the interviews.
Wow. Yeah, dude. I think that'd be a hard sell for a lot of grandparents out there.
Hard no.
I think the reason why I thought it was a good idea was because my experience has been different with my dad.
When your grandkids asked you this,
you son of a bitch. When my dad and his 3 brothers were all over an idea like this. Back when it was, Jack for school had an assignment like, I need to interview a family member. He actually did, and I have like a short recording of him talking to my dad about how he felt about the 60s, how he felt about voting, and et cetera, et cetera.
See, but I see that in a bit of a different light. Like if Jack, as his grandchild, is coming to him like, hey, Grandpa, can you help me out for a school project?
Yeah.
Like, okay, obviously he's going to be more than happy to do it because it's his grandkid for school. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know. I would see
just paint it that way then.
This is not because you're about to die.
Very expensive school
This is
project.
for school. You remember school, don't you? Walking there, huh?
I started going back to school.
Ways in the snow.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think it's a very personal thing, and I think it's not something where the podcasts they're gonna make are going to hit the top 10 of the charts or anything, but they're gonna be very personal and meaningful to the people that that want to do that kind of thing.
The people.
You must
and I think it's a great idea and a very cool idea. Just getting the interviewee to sign off on that idea, I think, would be the
idea.
Yes, it is the idea.
They generate revenue by charging users per episode, with each episode allowing up to 2 interviewees. One episode costs $175, and 2 episodes $325, and for 4 it costs you $625.
Ooh,
so
pricey.
Yeah, I'd say a little steep there.
Yeah.
There goes my inheritance.
But what you're buying is they have 4 full-time workers with 12 interviewers contracted in the project. They are, by all indications, a fairly professional outfit, where if you were trying to do this on your own, and I know probably 4 or 5 different people that are related and not related to me that have talked about, like, I would love to interview, my grandfather while he's still around, to get the stories and just talk to him about his life. The kind of stuff that you never really do in small talk. So.
Yeah, and like I said, again, I think it's a very cool idea. Just trying to get those people on board
with the idea.
With the idea of the idea.
That's what I've got. Anybody? Nick, you said you might have something.
Yeah, I got one.
All right.
So this was about a month back. It's an article. It states that a trooper, highway patrol trooper, was stopping a vehicle with a suspected impaired driver on a U.S. highway. He was bemused to find a 5-year-old in the driver's seat. It was the Utah Highway Patrol, as he tweeted. After seeing the vehicle driving slowly and weaving in the left lane of the Interstate 15 freeway, the trooper turned on his siren, his lights, and initiated a traffic stop. The driver neatly pulled over to the side of the road. Dashboard camera video posted by the police captures the conversation between the trooper and the driver, which has since been viewed on YouTube almost 760,000 times.
Wow.
You're 5 years old, the trooper says. Wow. He then
Look at you, buddy.
He then
Look at you.
Good job, buddy.
He then asked the child where he learned how to drive and takes down some other details.
None of your fucking business, that's where.
Right. Listen, asshole.
Fuck off, pig.
I have a growth disorder.
I'll thank you not to tease me about it.
The boy, who was not identified as he's a minor, said that he had left home in his parents' vehicle after arguing with his mother, who had told him she would not buy him a Lamborghini.
Oh, of course.
Oh, I remember this.
He decided to take the car, go to California, and buy one himself.
And on the way, I'm going to play the ponies.
The police said in a tweet, adding, he might have been a little short on the purchase amount as he only had $3 in cash in his wallet.
How was he reaching the pedals?
How did he have a wallet? He's 5.
Well, hold on. Wallet is a thing you can be given.
At 5?
But you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird to me.
It's got to play money in it.
How did he reach the pedals? How did he know pull over for police lights? How did he see the police lights? Did he adjust his mirror before he got in the car?
There's definitely some planning going on before this trip.
We just want to drive to California and buy
Learn
a
how to
Lamborghini.
drive? Check.
Yeah.
Watch some police videos on YouTube? Check.
I feel like this is like a real life Stewie Griffin.
If I could do Stewie, I would right now, but I
I
can't.
was gonna say, can we hear
I just
that?
want to hear a Kermit Stewie.
Damn you, fat man.
Damn you, fat man.
Oh wow.
I told you, Kermit Stewie is all I got.
So that's
Very
what I got.
deep, Stewie.
Cory, you got one?
I do. So this goes along with a certain passion of mine. Scientists installed a tiny
sex?
wireless A tiny wireless GoPro camera on the back of a beetle. Have you ever wondered how the world looks like from a view of a tiny insect as a beetle? Well, researchers at the University of Washington are giving us all the chance for a fascinating Ant-Man view by successfully installing a tiny wireless camera on the back of a beetle while paving the way for miniature robots.
Yeah.
Bob and I just got to chill.
You know how I feel about that.
The scientists published their research on July 15th in Science Robotics and are planning on attaching the cameras to moths and spiders in the future.
Fuck that. No, they're not putting it on spiders.
What's the difference?
Dude, no.
But it's horrifying either way.
Robotic spiders? No.
That's robotic.
What is a moth going to do? Get some powder on you? Who cares about a moth?
Laser beam all the mothballs under my closet.
Can you imagine if they somehow, flipped a switch and got all the spiders to come to my house?
I think anything getting all of the rest of them together is horrifying.
What, are you going to choke on a moth? All right, get out of here, moths.
Dude, if you got attacked by 1 million moths, you'd be singing a different tune, my friend.
1 million moths. That's a lot.
Eat your clothes faster than a
No,
son
I
of a
just
bitch.
get one big light in the front of the yard, and they'd all go to that, and I'd scurry into my house.
No, that's where the robot brain tells them, ignore the light, kill Nick Bader.
What are they going to kill me with? If
They're-
I got
they're
bit by
tiny little moth wings.
If I got bit by a million spiders, I
Oh,
would
and
die.
their chest-mounted lasers.
I'll say along with that GoPro.
Yeah.
These moths are going to be really weighted down. I don't know if they're going to have to be able to.
I mean, miniaturization
Accomplish
of
flight.
cameras, you can miniaturize lasers.
It's less than a quarter of a gram and about 1/10 the weight of a playing card. So the beetle can hardly feel it and does not spend any energy carrying it.
Wow.
I'm not even going to repeat my feelings on this because everybody's aware.
Well, the whole robotics thing, yes. But I think as far as like for capturing, a documentary of,
what a beetle sees.
A day in the life of a beetle. Dude, that's some great Nat Geo shit right there.
But you know what? You do it once, and you don't need to do it anymore.
Yeah, but that camera, you know what the resolution on that camera is going to be?
I would assume pretty good.
No.
Let's see if they have the resolution here. I mean, the camera itself is quite impressive. I'll tell you that much.
Because it's small.
Well, yes.
It looks like
sometimes small things are impressive.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Looks like a grain of salt. That's impressive.
It's so impressive. Why, thank you, madam.
The beetle brushed up against the leaf and the lens on it cracked.
Unfortunately, it does not have the resolution.
What do you know?
I'm going to guess
One.
it's 1 by 1.
But it does have Bluetooth.
Oh, thank God. So can it also play music? Can I like...
You imagine the how that tiny cord would have to go to a big cord? And that beetle would just be walking in place like one of those wind-up toys?
You can see everywhere he goes.
Oh, God.
They were able to get the very small cables flown in from Cable Creations.
That's right. Thank you, Cable Creations.
Wow, that's a callback.
Yes, it is.
Episode 20 or something.
Very, very long time ago.
I think it was like 20 and like 45.
If only Cable Creations could see us now.
Because
Still using their cable.
they could if there's a beetle around.
Yeah. Danielle, you got anything to share?
I don't really have an article. It's just something I heard on the radio.
So more like booze.
It's news. It's
Booze
just,
gossip.
I don't know. Like, I don't have an article explaining
You
everything.
got nothing to back it up. No proof.
No.
All right. So we'll asterisk this point. Let's see. What do you got?
It's a company in Japan that created a mask that goes over your mask. That
Well, hold on. Why?
So it's
So you're wearing a mask.
Yeah, so
And
you
then you
know
take the
when
new
you
mask.
have a mask on,
Right.
it's
And you go,
usually-
this
when
isn't enough.
When you're talking, it's usually muffled.
Right.
People can't understand you.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times people pull their mask down, which you're not supposed to do, to
Right.
talk.
Yeah.
Well, they created another mask that you put over that's supposed to translate better and like amplify what you're saying so people can hear you. It's from Japan, so,
So
I
you
mean,
can-
Yeah.
So with two masks, now you really can't breathe, but people can hear.
Exactly. Right.
People can hear that you can't breathe.
Yep,
Yeah.
pretty much. I mean, they do make
What?
They do make masks now, like that have like the clear plastic piece. I don't know if you've seen those.
No.
It just goes like across like your mouth, so
So people can see you not breathing.
Right. But
Okay.
then they can read your lips instead.
So now I got to read lips too?
Well, if you can't hear what they're saying, or if you work with somebody that's deaf.
This man really sucks. Oh, the mask sucks. Got it.
I was almost kind of hoping that you were going to kind of go with something that I think Nick would have definitely been on board with, is if whatever you were saying scrolled across the mask.
Oh, that would be genius.
And LED lights.
Oh, that would be
Because
cool.
I could see Nick getting on his phone right away and be like, well, yeah, that mask, that's crazy. I don't know.
Oh, I'd buy one for sure. But your thing with the window just kind of reminds me of, and I think this will touch Bob's heart, wearing a mask with glasses
My
on.
cold heart.
With glasses on.
Well, generally the mask doesn't cover your glasses. So
Sure.
you're good.
Right.
Yeah.
But do your glasses sometimes fog up while you're wearing a mask?
No.
Never. Never once happened.
No.
Well, I put sunglasses on, and every time I breathe, it goes right up into the sunglasses, and they get all foggy. And I'm like, Jesus. So can you imagine that plastic window right in front of your mouth? You don't think that's going to fog up?
Right. No, I agree with you there.
Do they realize that they're making it easy for the rest of us to hear people talking that we really don't want to hear talk?
I mean,
Like, none of the people that are going to be buying this have anything interesting to say.
right.
People.
They just want people to hear them.
Oh, the peoples. Well, that's interesting. I feel like I've done this in the last couple of days. I want to say I was in going to pick up my carryout the other day, and I had to shout back across the kitchen. They're like, "Who's your order for?" And I literally had to pull my mask on just quick enough for me to yell my name.
Right.
So it is a problem.
Not
It
quick
is.
enough for COVID to get you, though.
No.
Well, it's funny, too, because one of the girls I work with, she's really like, well, because you get used to like whispering to each other when you're talking about
Talking
somebody.
shit about somebody?
Right.
Yeah, I
And she does it all the time. And I'm like, you can't whisper. I cannot understand you because it's not coming through your mask and I can't read your lips. So stop
Hey,
whispering
that
to
shit
me.
you said about Cindy, can you shout that a little louder?
Right?
Why is Cindy a bitch?
Boy, I wish she had one of those masks where she could just type it and it would just scroll across her mouth.
That would be funny.
That'd be great.
Cindy came in the room. Turn off your LED mask.
All right. Well, so before we go into Killer Robot of the Week here, which
Killer
I
robot of
feel like I'm not even sure we really need to do this segment because I'm already terrified enough. But why the hell not? What do you think, Cory? Just one, and I'll make it quick.
That's fine. We can do one.
All right. So, for this week's edition of Killer Robot of the Week, I'm talking about robots on wheels swapping their wheels for legs.
They swap them out?
Yeah.
They do it on their own.
Yes. Fucking terrifying.
Where do you find these articles?
They're everywhere.
KillerRobots.com.
I wish I could say it was that easy, but no. Everywhere you look, look what we can now do with robots. Look at that we could do with robots. Bet you didn't think we could do this with robots, but yes, we did. And I'm like, no, God, no. None of these stories are good. It's going to end badly.
I'm going to swap out for my legs for a helicopter attachment. It's coming.
Yeah.
Inspector Gadget.
So,
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
when I'm quoting here directly, when designing a mobility system for a robot, the goal makes sense is usually to come up with one single system that allows your robot to do everything that you might conceivably need it to do, whether that's walking, running, swimming, rolling, or some combination of all those things. But that's not how we do it. We have footwear for different purposes, and we tend to change our shoes to do different things, whether it's running, hiking, swimming.
Not all of us, Bob.
You're an anomaly, sir.
Some of us do everything in the same pair of footwear.
If humans followed the robot model, let's correct this to say if humans followed the Cory model, we'd be walking around wearing some sort of horrific combination of sneakers, hiking boots, roller skates, skis, and flippers on our feet. Instead, we do the sensible thing and we change our shoes for different situations. And that's what they built a robot to do. So they call the robot shoes swappable propulsors. But basically, they get. I know it's a word salad. They give it a little arm. It's a cute little robot arm, that comes down and literally just swaps out the wheels or puts the shoes, the propulsors, into slots on the wheels, and they stay there through magnets and a way of orienting geometrically with the wheel for it to stay connected. All of it paints a picture in which robots now are one step closer to doing what we can do better than we can do it, and there's no need for us anymore once they figure that out. So,
I mean, I guess I would be a little more afraid if they ever got to the point of like if they were sitting down and putting on a tennis shoe and tying it.
but that's my point, Cory. Yes, this is a small baby step, but all these little baby steps, pretty soon you're going to see exactly what you're talking about.
Right, but Bob, let's face the facts. You're 50. By the time that happens, you'll be long gone.
I'm afraid for my children, Cory.
Okay, well,
Not for you.
They're gonna
Not
be
for you.
They're going to be the ones
My
making
children.
the robots.
Oh, no. Making robots takes, like, attention and effort and dedication and stuff like that. My kids are just learning to do that stuff.
Well, eventually robots will be teaching them those things and those characteristics.
Oh, then we're already fucked. If that's where we're going, it's all over but the shouting at that point.
Bob is 50.
Yeah, that's not going away anytime soon.
Not until you're 51.
Fucker. But hey, if I could just tack this on the end of this segment, even though it doesn't really have anything to do with it, it doesn't fit anywhere. But I did want to mention this to you because which one of you are the ones that doesn't like mustard?
Who I don't believe there's anyone here that doesn't like mustard.
Everybody here loves mustard?
Sure. Go fuck yourself. You don't like it either.
So I'm okay with other mustard, just not yellow mustard.
Oh, okay. Well, then you're really going to hate this story because now French's has a mustard
Oh.
beer.
There's a picture of it on the screen.
Yep.
Well, I'm about to break that laptop.
The whole can is yellow, and it says French's.
That's just gross.
I know you didn't know this, Cory, but August 1st was National Mustard Day.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
And just so you know,
I was wondering why I was queasy all day long.
just so you know, and now it's time for booze news.
Timely.
Yeah.
I was a
Johnny on the
little
spot.
late on that.
Johnny on the spot. So French's, the brand you hate, has released a beer concocted in collaboration with craft beer brewery Oscar Blues.
Is this some kind of robot mustard?
No. I'm tacking it on the end of the robot segment because it really doesn't fit anywhere else.
Oh, it's not a booze news?
No.
It's beer.
I don't know if it's news, though.
It's
if everybody.
booze in the news.
It is literally booze in the news.
Well, I already had a booze news article.
But
spent
that's
a
why
lot
I
of
just played that sound for you. It's not
I
robot
feel like
news.
what you really want is a thank you for playing this out.
You are welcome.
God damn it. I didn't really thank you. I referenced possibly thank you.
I think you said you and thank you.
It wasn't directed toward you. So, but about $20 shipping on craftshack.com for a 6-pack.
$20 in shipping.
Yeah, it's beer. It's not like
It's
empty cans.
mustard beer, though.
Oh, it's probably the best mustard beer you'll ever have, Danielle.
I will never. I love mustard, and I would never drink that.
You can get it at select tap rooms in North Carolina as well as 2 cities in Colorado, Boulder and Longmont, while supplies last. The unique pairing was the 2 brands' shared history of exploring new flavors and tastes, which, why wouldn't you? They described the beer as being a semi-tart wheat beer infused with citrus and French's classic yellow mustard.
Oh, my
That
God.
sounds like a terrible combination.
They said that it pairs very well with Oscar Mayer's Wiener beer.
They do say no. The brewers note that the flavors of key lime, lemon, tangerine, and passion fruit complement the spice and zip added by the mustard and creates a brightly colored, it is yellow mustard colored,
Ew.
and refreshing brew.
They-
Little over
Disgusting.
5% alcohol.
It's often served with a ballpark Frank sticking right out of the top of the pint glass.
Or a big soft pretzel.
Or just dip it right inside.
They suggest that it would be best paired with a loaded hot dog on the hottest day of the year. Which
I almost threw up.
Seriously? Oh, my God.
totally worth it.
Can you imagine? Oh, man. It is so sweltering out here. You got that Kogel Vienna over there? Yeah, thanks.
Now I'm going to
give me
convince Nick a
something to
little bit
drink.
with this. Nick, Food and Wine magazine
I know. Yeah, okay, yeah.
describes this beer as being shockingly subtle compared to its bright yellow hue. They said they detected a touch of vinegar from the mustard, but it cut nicely through the acidity imparted by the tart citrus. Dude, that sounds like it's got your name written all over.
No,
It's making me want to throw up.
That is really disgusting. If I took a sniff of that beer and it smelled like mustard or vinegar, nope.
Which I like both of those things.
But
not
if you
a
had,
beer.
if you were sitting at the ballpark, God forbid we could actually go back to the ballpark, and got a loaded.
You don't want to go to the ballpark?
I mean, God willing, not God forbid.
Oh, sorry. Did I say God forbid?
Yeah.
All right.
Bitch.
Scratch that. Reverse it. Scratch that. Reverse it.
Ipso facto.
Bob looks over and goes, "Did I say that?" He's so upset.
I would say I would try that.
If it's free, I'll try it. I'm not going to pay for it.
No. People would have
Really?
to pay me to try that. Not,
All the other fucking beers you've tried, you wouldn't try one of those things.
dude.
If I bought it
seriously,
for you, would you try it?
no, I would not.
Not even for free?
Seriously, I'm getting kind of sick.
French's
just,
yellow mustard.
Just getting
Beer.
sick thinking.
You sure?
about it.
Mustard
I
beer?
just
No?
envision like Cory, like the lumps of the mustard like floating to the top.
Lumps of the mustard.
Why?
Didn't really quite mix in.
Lumps of the mustard.
This is very uncalled for conversation right now.
Yeah.
Before
I'd take that pig's head beer any day before that.
Gina did say that she would
She
try
did.
that. Yeah, try that beer.
She did, and I'm like, you have at it. Good luck. All right. Before,
No, not. She would also try this, but she just commented.
Oh, she
on-
said you try this?
Yeah, she would love
See,
to try the mustard
that's what I'm
beer.
talking. And I'm gonna. So before we go into Daniel's work box, I'm gonna leave you with this.
Bob's got something that he's wants to recommend to people, but it's not really a pick of the week.
I haven't tried it. So the chief marketing excellence officer for French's, in case you didn't know there
Can
was
go
such
fuck
a,
themselves.
if you didn't know there was such a position.
He wears a yellow
Jill
suit.
Pratt released a statement explaining. She says, quote, French's enjoys creating new curiosity around a flavor that has been a staple in homes for over 115 years, you motherfucker. The incredible reaction to last year's release of our mustard ice cream
Oh, God damn it.
well, showed us how far people are willing to go to savor this favorite condiment.
Okay, so if that's what you want to bring that staple and incorporate it in another
Yeah.
thing. Make like a mustard floor cleaner. Yeah, it really gets up the grind. You know, the French's floor cleaner. Not
floor
things
cleaner.
that we have to drink and eat.
Yeah, that's. Oh,
I'm just gonna say right now, you sound a little bit like Joe, where I'm like, look, man, what do you care if they have yellow mustard beer? You don't have to have one.
I've been referred to or related to Joe enough in the past. I don't really appreciate that.
I calls them like I sees them.
These have been
Nick-
sitting here for way too long.
Yeah, they're probably.
Nick even had to trim his beard down because
Sorry, I didn't know where you were going with that.
Joe. Trim his bush.
Okay then. Hey, before we do this,
You guys have a shot.
Yeah, Danielle, have a shot.
I don't.
You're out of practice on this. So you say, I'll have a shot.
I'll have a shot.
Corey, have a shot.
Oh, I'll have a shot.
Nick, have a shot.
I think I'll have a shot.
Let's have a shot, boys.
Let's do a shot.
Yeah, you really need to be doing that.
Ooh. What did you give me a shot of?
Well, that was red, white, and berry,
Oh.
but it probably didn't mix well with the residual fireball that was in there.
Or the
Probably
thoughts
not.
of French's yellow mustard.
Or that.
That is what?
I'm not sure what
Yeah.
he's... Oh, little...
Oh, I got it right
Back
here.
I didn't understand if he was trying to sneak up on the
Now you're gonna have to get up.
power supply, or... I got it.
I gotta get you.
Not where it usually is.
Took me a while to catch him earlier.
Well, I figure since it always comes over here anyways,
No,
Might as well.
I'm all for it. I just wasn't where I was expecting it to be.
I appreciate that.
and I have all this space next to the new on-air sign that we brought over from the old studio.
Very nice.
Very nice.
And do you have I'm not watching, obviously, but do you have a graphic for Daniel's Roblox?
As a matter of fact.
that the people are seeing?
For all the viewers, I do.
I still do not like.
Well,
If we could take my picture out of it, I'd be totally happy about
you're
it.
a
It's
cartoon.
called Danielle's Word Box.
Yeah, I know, but there's a word in a box, and that's all we need.
No, and you. That's.
We don't
I'm not
need
sure
a
you know how this works.
Cartoon version of me from like 10 years ago.
It's like French's yellow mustard, not putting French's in the bottle because they're like, no, they'll get it. They'll understand.
Just a yellow
Yeah,
can.
it's fine.
But
all
it's
right,
also
so-
a picture from like 10 years ago.
Nick, can you do me a favor and very eloquently explain to the
Jesus
listeners
Christ.
what it is she's doing here?
Well, Bob, I'm glad that you brought that up. Some time ago, Danielle, we found, some may say we found, that when attempting to say a certain type of vodka name that rhymes with Beernoff, she messed up or put a little bit too much wind behind the word. So there's a lot of and cold fronts coming through. So that's when we realized that, of course, instead of saying, God, we should never mention this again, she's one of our dear friends. No, we should exploit her.
Comedy gold.
And,
As we hear on the Schnozzcast do.
and find any word
We've been
in English,
exploited all our lives.
English or other language that has any kind of SCH sound to it. Mm-hmm. So that's what Danielle's word box is. She has no idea what she's going to read, and she's going to very quickly read it.
Well stated, sir.
This is a very long one.
Is it? It's one word, or is it a tongue twister?
Thank you, Danielle.
No, it's a tongue twister.
All righty. Oh yeah, I can't
It's
wait.
a fucking
Oh my
paragraph.
God.
All right, so can we time her and give her like 5 seconds to get to the whole thing? Would that help?
There is no way I can talk that fast.
Ooh, Cory might disagree.
Is that a cutout from Bob's college dissertation?
It was the best of times. It was the
It
worst
should
of
be
times.
easy to read then.
Yeah.
College was fun. I like colors. What? I dance naked with my friends outside.
I don't need to take this abuse. I got plenty of people waiting to abuse me. Go ahead, Danielle.
Okay, ready?
Oh, born ready.
Okay. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where'd the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked?
Where the peck? Where the peck?
Where's the peck?
That's not what I heard.
Cory hasn't heard that more than once today.
Where the peck?
Well,
Well done.
Thanks.
See, you did get through that in 5 seconds, roughly.
I mean, who doesn't know Peter Piper?
I haven't read. I don't think I've ever read that
I haven't read the full length.
whole thing.
No. But well done.
Thanks.
speaking of
Swipe.
the word box and
Christ.
rhymes today,
Yeah.
I introduced Danielle to Andrew Dice Clay's nursery rhymes.
Oh yeah.
Were you not familiar
No.
with him at all?
No.
You never heard his stuff.
No.
You started with the wrong. Well, I guess that's where you'd start.
We were walking through the Target parking lot, and he
And
started singing.
I said, "Hickory dickory dock."
Yeah.
and he stopped, and I go, "That's not how that goes." And he goes, "Yes." He goes, "No, you've
Nick,
never.
do you know what we're talking about?
You've never heard this before."
I'm going to say yes, just so I don't have to be explained.
You don't know who Andrew Dice Clay is? Can you?
No.
Maybe we've got listeners who don't either. Real brief, Cory.
Comedian from early '80s. He was big.
Late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
He was a heavier man, or?
Yes,
no.
very no.
He was he
just-
looked like he
you're-
tried to dress like Elvis.
Your typical kind of New York douchebag,
Yeah.
and like he definitely played off the accent and everything like that. Dressed like real crazy on stage, real extravagant.
By the way,
outfits.
our Instagram demographics did say that New York was one of our hot spots for the most downloaded of our podcasts. So we
Look,
apologize in advance.
Oh,
people
hold
from
on.
New York would agree with me. I
They
guarantee
probably would. And by the way, when you say something like New York douchebag, you could say that about every city's got them. It's not like
yeah.
we're saying the only state with douchebags is New York. Just the douchebags from New York.
Yeah.
That's all. It's a small percentage, I'm sure.
So yeah, he very vile and kind of shocking humor.
Oh, it was very interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, he did this series of nursery rhymes where he changed a lot of the words around to I don't even know as far as how to explain.
Vulgar.
Yeah, very vulgar, very
Yeah.
sexual.
Inappropriate.
Okay.
Yes, very inappropriate as far as a nursery rhyme. So that's Andrew Dice Clay.
Yeah, so if you're interested, I mean, I watched him when I was in college at the time.
YouTube.
Yeah, you can go out to YouTube. Just do Andrew Dice Clay nursery rhymes.
Oh, there's like 17,000 searches that pop right up.
Yeah, no problem. So
Yes,
you
I
were
got an
you were a little
earful.
shocked.
Yeah, but
yeah,
did he
'cause
tell you about the
after-
nursery rhymes?
After he said it, and I was like, "What the fuck is he talking about?"
He was, I think he's famous for being one of only a few performers to be permanently banned from ever performing on Saturday Night Live again.
Was he really?
Yeah.
No, that's not true because Norm Macdonald was as well.
Oh, he was fired.
Yeah, he wasn't banned from performing.
Yeah.
So he can come back anytime.
He wasn't banned. He's not been back, but yeah, he could go back.
He's not
possible.
allowed on the Saturday Night Live property anymore.
I mean, he was fired by a guy who doesn't even work there anymore. So yeah, I feel like
can
his
come
problem was not with Lorne Michaels. His problem was with the head of NBC.
Yeah, especially now too with SNL kind of circling the drain at points. I think
They've been circling the drains on Desmond High
Yeah, you
School.
can't. It ebbs and flows. People have said they've been circling the drain for the last 35, 40 years. So,
But I would see if someone like Norm Macdonald was like, "Hey, I want to come back on and host," they'd probably be like, "Well, shit, yes, please."
if Norm Macdonald released like a comedy album or a special that did really, really well, they'd have him on us in a second.
Oh, I'm very sure.
Yeah, and he's friends with. I mean, Sandler went back and did it. They had Eddie Murphy back recently, so. I don't know. I don't know that he's friends with Eddie Murphy, but Sandler and Norm Macdonald are tight.
And I think too because even with the Eddie Murphy episode, I remember. I mean, that was a huge publicized thing that.
Oh yeah.
Well, they talked about it for weeks.
Yeah, everyone was talking about. Oh, you watching the Eddie Murphy SNL tonight? I'm like,
Well, he
no,
hadn't done stand up in 25 years, much less any
been
sketch
on,
show.
Right? Yeah, been on SNL.
Yeah,
So I mean, I think it'd be a good PR move on.
we could start a Schnozzcast petition to get Norm Macdonald back on SNL.
We can reach out to his people.
The people talk to the people.
There are too many people being said
There's
tonight.
never too many people.
The more people, the better.
Anyway, Andrew Dice Clay banned,
Yes.
and then he did, but he like leaned into it. Like he kept doing what he was doing, but even more aggressively. And so he did. I want to say it was like his third album was called "The Day the Laughter Died."
Yes.
Did you ever listen to it?
Oh yes.
Oh my God! It was like a double album.
And
It was actually when I bought it was it was a double cassette, so which was amazing.
that's when the crowd basically started going against him, and he flipped out.
They
in the
started
crowd.
walking. Yeah, they would
Yeah,
walk out.
yeah.
He was performing to like a skeleton crew out in the audience, but there's very little laughter, and he just was like, "No, I'm just going to keep going," and he kept going for hours. And at the very end of it, they cut the recording off because he started a fight. They're talking about shampoo or something like that.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've listened to it.
Ginkgo
but
biloba or something like that. And somebody started yelling at him from the audience, and he started arguing with them, and he came down from the stage and started fighting with them, and that's when the recording stopped. That was the end.
Like the entire thing, he was basically just berating everyone in the audience,
Oh, that's
and they
nice.
were just yelling back at him. It's
It was pretty impressive. Like the balls to do that and then go, yeah, let's release that.
well,
That's my next album.
that's what I was thinking too. Like, yeah, you actually released it. Holy shit!
Yeah, that wasn't the only show that he did on that tour. I'm sure there probably was any one of a number of shows that were better
But
than that.
that was what they released.
Yeah, that's what I'm going with.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, it takes a little guts, but
Sorry, just had to.
yeah, he was very vulgar.
just had to throw
Oh,
that in there.
from just his nursery rhymes, I gathered
Oh,
that.
you have no idea. Do you plan on showing her more of Andrew Dice Clay?
Oh yes, yes.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, Gina gave a Jack and Jill.
Oh, the old Jack and Jill.
Beard. Blue hat. Uncle Ray's. Sitting next to each
Oh
other.
God, do you guys do you want to switch seats with Danielle and go sit
No,
over
I'm
there?
okay.
What,
Okay.
because you guys are twinning today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was an unnecessary word to use.
Unfortunate.
It was
Okay.
not. It was perfect.
Maybe
I feel
people.
like you don't know what that means.
Maybe people wouldn't have picked that out if we didn't mention it.
Well, Nick
Corey,
is the one
we're
that
right.
Did you
brought
go
it
upstairs
up.
and change?
As far as the camera's concerned, we're like sitting right next to each other.
Yeah.
So
That's
Oh
true.
yeah, I get that much. but
Very true.
Sometimes,
So cute.
yeah.
What are we looking?
Oh, the SD card has reached its limit.
No, Bobbert.
This SD card was completely empty when I put it in.
Sure it was, buddy.
Uh-huh.
Anyhow,
Right.
It did
continuing.
just say like you called him Bunny and not Buddy, just FYI.
buddy.
I know, but it
How far
sounded
through do you
like
think you got,
Bunny.
Corey?
I'm at 50 minutes right now.
5-0.
Yes.
You want to?
If we can take an early break.
Let's do
and we can fix this issue
Absolutely.
and come back and hopefully have a clean SD card that works.
Yep.
Stay in the room. Don't leave. The room will stay open. We'll be back in 15 minutes.
See ya.
was a nice nap. We're back.
My wife would sleep out of my eyes.
Oh, I'm so tired.
Oh, God.
But we're back. Never know what a 15-minute power nap can do for you during the break.
We're hoping.
We shall see.
All right, Danielle.
Ready?
Yeah. We're ready whenever you are. Whenever you are. Let's
These guys usually sound much louder. I don't know what's going on.
Hey, I didn't even have headphones when we first started, okay?
let's jump into gentleman's agreement. So we all have something to talk about today. I want to start with Nick Bader.
Oh, wow.
I want to start with Nick. Don't usually start with Nick, I don't feel.
No, we never do, actually.
Yeah, so let's kind of go against the grain a little bit. And you want to tell us what you had to watch?
Yeah. Can we do the shot first, though?
Yeah, absolutely. So please join us. If you haven't had one lately or you'd like another one, perhaps in the future, you're washing the kitchen floor and you wanted something to listen to, so you're on the Schnozzcast and you're like, you know what? I know it's only 10 a.m., but I feel like I want a shot.
What would you be washing said kitchen floor with?
Your wife.
Well, that's not how it's going.
Wow.
Or,
That's going to go over well.
Yeah.
sometimes they like to do it in the kitchen. Or you could be using French's floor cleaner.
That's what I was going for.
I like the first answer a lot better. He didn't say who, he said what. And you're like, your wife.
For what?
I just think that must be what marriage is like. You refer to them as inanimate objects, and that's what you clean the floor with.
I would never say anything like that, Bob, but let's do a shot.
Good Lord.
Shot of French's to everybody. So, for my gentleman's agreement, Cory gave me the Russian 5.
Yep, we're going to start off by saying spoilers for this whole segment.
Absolute spoilers. So, Cory, I just want to thank you for giving someone that doesn't necessarily care for sports a sports movie.
Documentary.
You're gonna spit.
so
You're gonna spit into the wind, and you're gonna say, "You know what, Nick Bader? I don't care. If you're on fire, I'm gonna pee on you, man. I will pee all over you."
Wow.
That's what
What?
Cory Celesti's saying because he thinks he's helping me, but really he's peeing on me. And
Nick, even if you weren't on fire, I'd pee on you, bud.
well, that's just a Thursday. It's the Thursday over at this house.
that's right.
Well, it's pretty cold out, so
I'm glad it's Friday.
so Cory, I didn't shower today.
No.
Not a real shower.
One of the golden sorts.
Okay.
So Cory.
So Russian 5.
So Cory gave me the Russian 5, and I begrudgingly sat down and watched it.
Now, just for a little bit of tiny background, because we might have some listeners who are not familiar with Detroit hockey, but the Russian 5 refer to the. You want to do it, Cory?
Yeah, Cory
Well,
gave it to me. So
The 5 Russian players that played for the Detroit Red Wings.
Okay. Great. Okay, so go ahead, Nick. Done. Background given.
There you go.
So the basics of it were that the Wings back in the late 80s, early 90s were really sucking it up.
Big time.
Yep.
Big time sucking it up. And basically, during the drafts, it was pretty much unheard of to draft any of the Russian players, even though they were absolutely amazing, playing for the Red Team or the Red Army Team or whatever it was called.
The Red Army, yes.
Yeah, the Red Army Team. So they were amazing, and it's pretty much like gawking at these guys from afar. And I've often said that, I don't like sports, but I can get on board with watching hockey. So basically all these managers were like, God, wouldn't that be amazing if we could get these guys from Russia? That would be great. But in the state that the country was in, being a communist regime, there was a lot of, KGB and mafia like stepping on their toes saying, hey, if you go over there and take this offer, no matter if it will benefit your family, we're going to kill you and we're going to kill your family and we're going to do all this. So basically the premise, spoiler alert, of the Russian 5 was that the Wings were doing absolutely so bad at the point where they started being referred to as the Dead Wings, that they said, we have no other option. So for a 4th round draft pick, they decided that we have to get some of these guys from Russia, and they were obviously these several star players that came up, young and up and comers, 18, 15 years old, and I'm not going to completely spoil the movie for everybody, but I will have to say, loved it 1,000%. Loved it, absolutely loved it. I loved the incorporation of the animations of when they were younger. I thought that brought some literary license to it and artistic, but it played out better than just a documentary of some players talking about what used to happen. And I felt like the way they told it kind of gave urgency to the documentary, like almost like as if a clock was ticking and something horrible was going to happen when that clock ran out. I felt like the documentary flowed like that, like they were always kind of someone was chasing us, and we had to capture whatever it was we needed before they caught us. Otherwise, they would kill us. Like, that was kind of the urgency in the documentary. And I like that because I feel like, for the most part, that was true. The things that they had to do and fly over there and find translators and bribe these guys with a bunch of money and the trials and tribulations of it. I mean...
And hide them.
Yeah, oh, my God. Hide them, sneak them out. I mean, do this in another country where if, the State Department found out, I mean, they were in danger as well. It wasn't just the Russian players and their families. So that being said, the long and the short of it is they got all these guys. They got them to come to America, and the rest is history if you know anything about Detroit hockey. Back in the 90s when, back-to-back Stanley Cups. So it was amazing, though. To know I knew hockey back then. I was at the Joe and Sweets back then. I was with my dad's company. We would go there all the time, and Scotty Bowman and all them, we knew them, and then going to the whatchamacallit, what they call the player, you get the chips, the club, the room, or the players club, or whatever that room was called. I forget what it was at the Joe Louis.
Corey?
Yeah, it was the underneath.
Yeah,
you got underneath the rink.
Yeah. I feel like there was a couple times that I could have went there, and I think I said no, and people were like, "What is wrong with you?" Especially
I don't like sports.
Especially back in
Leave me alone.
Especially back in that time, But yeah, so I intimately could relate with that, especially everything with Detroit. But loved it, 1,000%. Almost cried at the end. Very emotional.
Really?
Very emotional. Yeah, it was.
I think I may have.
Yeah, the story about, because they tugged on your heartstrings when they built up the fact that these guys knew no English, and which apparently I don't either, no English at the time, and left their home. Came to a foreign land, for some money, but, you were, okay, hey, Danielle, come to Russia by yourself, and we'll give you all this money. Fuck that. No, I'm staying here.
Right.
But that is a testament to, how life was over there, so came over here.
It was a bad time back then.
Oh,
over
yeah.
There.
And it was bad in Detroit, too.
Yeah.
Detroit, that was the low of Detroit was back then.
People got here, they're probably like, Jesus, I was better off back there.
I left Russia for this.
But they came here thinking, wow, this is amazing. This is an amazing place. I can't believe they're giving me all this money just to do something I absolutely love.
Yeah.
And they came here and completely turned the city around, turned the Red Wings around, turned their lives around. I mean, it was amazing. But the way it tugged on your heartstrings was where the fact that, some of these guys knew each other or knew of each other, some did not, and they all kind of became compatriots based on the fact that they were the Russian guys, and a lot of the Americans, especially the players, completely turned against them, because hey, they're making us all look bad. What the fuck? All these Russian young kids come over here and they're just mopping the floor with us. Another reference. So they were getting checked and sticks to the face and all kinds of dirty pool. And so these guys, I say that in the sense that they really, really, really had to lean on each other to stick together. So that was kind of a cool thing in the documentary that, they became kind of like brothers. And it was Vladdy, right? Constantino, he was significantly older than them, right?
Yeah, he was the oldest out of all
Yeah, he
of
was
them.
about like 36 and
Had a wife and kid that was over in Russia.
Yeah, and he was also a captain in the Red Army.
Yeah.
and they absolutely did not want to bring him over. Most everyone didn't. That there was a lot of finger wagging going on, but he ended up coming over. He ended up being amazing. He ended up being like a mentor to the younger guys. And just a rock, apparently they said that, he was just an all-around nice guy. When things weren't working out, he went and smoothed it over, and they all kind of looked at him as like an older brother, And I won't say anything else beyond that if you actually want to watch the documentary. But I wasn't expecting it. I guess I knew of what transpired, but I wasn't really involved with hockey or anything at the time, so I didn't really put the pieces together as to who it was. But yeah, it becomes very emotional at the end. So you get to a high and then a low and then kind of levels out. So I would recommend, if you haven't seen it, I'll shut up right now, but go watch it. Very, very good pick.
Oh, I'm glad you liked it, man. And like I said, I was kind of happy with the fact that it wasn't them just talking about, oh yeah, in this game when we were playing against so and so, and it showed highlights of the game and goals and saves and all that. It was about the deep underbelly of what occurred back then, and how players were picked up. And for those that don't know, I mean that's how hockey was basically formed to today's day and age. Was Detroit picking up those Russian players. They were the first team in the NHL to do it.
Yeah, they changed the game
because
they were untouchable.
Completely changed the game, and there was in the documentary there was players from other teams that were even playing against these guys that basically said like you didn't want to play. Like you'd be on a line against them, and you just knew you weren't going to be able to stop them. And it was a very simple dynamic of what they used, rather than all the American players were basically doing a very tough offensive
chase theory. Yeah,
Hey, we got to crash the net. You put shots on net. The Russian players as long as we control the puck, we control the game.
Yep.
It doesn't matter if it's 10-0. All we need is one goal, and as long as we control that puck and no one else can get it, that's what matters. So the game definitely took a huge turn back in that era. And I think the director did a very, very good job, which for those that don't know, myself, Danielle, and Bob went out to Ann Arbor and actually saw the premiere of it.
Like 3 years ago now?
Was it 3 years?
Probably.
Yeah,
It's got to be close to.
Okay.
It was a little while ago. But the director was actually there and did a little insight on how rough it was even for him to make the documentary. So it was kind of cool. You got to see the documentary and what his work, and then hearing from him and how rough and kind of fly by night a lot of stuff was, because they actually took trips over to Russia to interview like was it because Konstantinov and Fetisov are both still over there. Fedorov's over there, and Fetisov's actually like he's a huge political figure over there. Yeah. So it was basically like them going to Russia and saying, like, hey, we want to interview Putin. And so they're scheduling, and he's like, we had, what was it? I think 3 days. We were over there for 3 days. That's all we had to shoot all the film and footage we needed to actually make contacts with people. That's all we had. So for them to get all that done in a 3-day time period is absolutely insane.
And you have to imagine, like with the artwork, it was not any kind of fly-by-night artwork. It was they were able to say, hey, give us pictures of what you looked like at 20. And they animated it. And it was eerily real.
Yeah.
Whatever that style of animation is amazing, and more things should be in that with documentaries.
Yeah, the animation was very cool.
But because it told the story better, But, to give you an idea, maybe that's not something I want to watch, or, yeah, fuck that, it's not an emotional kind of thing. I mean, some of the most hardened guys, just when they were interviewing them, were getting teary, talking about it, just talking about the situation. They were like, and even one of the Russian guys, he was like, this has nothing to do with being a man, being emotional about this. He's like, this is being human. This is just normal. This is something people should feel, something over,
Yeah. So schnozzheads, schnozzerinos,
Still working on that.
It's a work in progress.
Schnoz babies.
It's a work in progress. You're getting a recommendation from a non-sports fan for a sports documentary, so that's got to mean something.
Right.
It does to me. I didn't expect it.
I didn't expect you to like it that much.
I thought it'd be like, yeah, you know, it was all right, but all too many sports.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Want to watch it again.
As more like you're talking about it, I was like, I really want to watch it again.
Well, I do.
You do own it.
I do own it.
It's on Amazon
I
Prime.
think we all own it now.
It's on Amazon Prime.
Well,
All right.
Excellent, sir. Glad to hear it.
Absolutely. You guys mind if I go next?
Go ahead.
I guess.
All right. So I had The Keepers on Netflix from Cory.
Wrong.
Negative.
From Nick?
Correct.
Damn it.
Wrong.
I had 50-50 shot.
Wrong. You couldn't be more wrong.
So, The Keepers. So I watched the first 2 episodes. I could definitely see myself watching more because I kind of got hooked into it. I mean, if it's a 7-hour documentary series and I watched only the first 2, so I was kind of sucked into the point where I'm like, okay, I need to know how this is going to turn out.
Mm-hmm.
So, brief backstory in Baltimore back in the 70s. Was it long ago or was it 60s?
Oh, it was late 50s, early 60s, I believe, because they
Okay.
were black and white photos.
Can't remember if I watched
Yeah, you did. I told you
Did
about
I?
it. Yeah,
There
I
was-
feel like I couldn't
yeah.
remember.
We talked about it for quite some time.
Okay,
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah,
so.
there was a Catholic school where one of the nuns who used to teach there, who subsequently then got an apartment and got permission from the parish, from the diocese, to go out and live in an apartment.
And her name was.
Kathy Sesnick.
That's right, Sister Kathy.
Well, sure. Formerly known as the Sister Kathy Sesnick.
Sesnick. Yep.
Taught at Archbishop Keogh School, but she was murdered one night. Well, she disappeared. I'm assuming it's murder because I've seen the first 2 hours, and I'm like, there's no way she just disappeared. Like, there's got to be foul play here. But essentially, the first 2 episodes did a really, I'll say this: the guy who was the journalist, where they started with, and he, so he went up into his attic where he had essentially stored all the detritus of his life. He put it up in his attic. He's like, let me just get that out of my sight. I'm just going to throw it up in the attic. And it was just a hodgepodge of boxes and piles of garbage. And so they start this whole documentary. And this is where I almost stopped watching it in the beginning, because he was literally wading through, like one would wade through piles of trash. Every step he took, it was like, just a huge, shit would rustle and move and clink and bang. And I'm like, do you not even have an aisleway to walk up in this attic of yours? No, he did not. It was such a goddamn disgrace. But he found his notes from that time and started to kind of narrate it. And I guess looking back now at the end of 2 episodes, it kind of works. Because even though he was wading through a fucking ocean of garbage to get to the evidence, he stayed in the attic, which in hindsight was genius. To stay in the attic and sort of narrate from time to time this story that he'd reported of this girl, this nun who disappeared.
I mean, what a great reference to have for him, for them to grab him, because, I mean, it sounded like he lived and breathed that.
He did. And it looked like he had no problem. And no, I'd love to talk to you about this because it's bothered me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've only made it through 2 episodes, so it's probably bothering him less than. Here comes the tornado.
We're on an aircraft carrier.
It's probably bothering him less than I think it is, because I'm sure there's more revelations to come in the next 5 episodes. But they interviewed a lot of her classmates, a lot of the students who went to Archbishop Keogh School while she was teaching there, and one of the head priests, whose name escapes me, Martel. Am I close?
It's been 3 years probably for me, so
Starts with an M.
I remember Keogh and Sesnick.
He would call. There were girls who were literally shaking in their boots from if you heard your name over the intercom, Father Martel would like to see you in his office. these girls would start crying and say, I don't want to go, I don't want to go. And they're like, I know he's weird, but you have to go. And it's like everybody kept the secret, which I assume is where the name of the documentary comes from. But they're like, you have to go. And I'm like, they are as complicit as anyone in knowing what's happening and just allowing it. So it was a second week in a row of very disturbing documentaries that I've had. And
What did you have before that?
The Bridge on Amazon Prime.
But what was happening in the office?
Oh, yeah, that one's fucked up too.
What was happening?
I
in
don't
the
even
office?
want to. No, I'm not even going to go through what was happening in the office.
I mean, briefly, was
Just
it molestation?
yes,
Or- yeah.
yes, on a grand scale, and to the point where I was like, they were so brazen because they're preying on fear. They're literally threatening these girls that they're going to tell their parents, and that some of their parents were. I mean, first of all,
I hope you don't get me this week then.
You know what? I already ran the macro, and I did.
Okay, well.
But no, I'm not going to give you that. No, I would never give you this.
No. Because if I have you,
Yeah.
what I was going to give out.
Oh, you don't have me.
Oh, okay.
Well, we can wrap
You're
this
fine.
up because Bob just said he would never give someone this. So
Yeah, there
even,
you go.
Even
So-
though Danielle already got
so-
it from me and loved
I was
it.
like,
so.
I watched it. I really did. I like that kind of.
No, I'm not.
Creepy,
This
like,
is just, no,
stuff.
I'm sucked in because I need to know how it ends.
Right.
But it's the kind of thing that it's really bothering me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but you can't pull the blanket over your head and say this doesn't exist or
No, I
never
knew,
existed.
but I knew it existed before.
You just don't want to hear about it.
I'm given no new information here. It's just a very specific story about someone who disappeared under those same circumstances of shit that I already know goes on every day.
Mm-hmm.
For every Kathy Sesnick, there's thousands of Kathy Sesnicks out there.
Right.
Where shit's happened to them, or they've been disappeared, or they've been abused in the by the Catholic Church or by some authority figure, and no one's doing anything about it because they're young girls. They don't know. They're afraid.
Yep.
It's just
Well, especially
it's
because
heartbreaking.
it
It's
was
absolutely heartbreaking.
to know. We'd like to think that for the most part we're pretty woke at this day and age when it comes to things like that.
Yeah.
But to know that this went on back then so brazenly, I mean, it was.
I was not surprised.
No, you're not surprised, but your heart goes out to it.
My heart breaks because of the level, the brazen nature of the absolute audacity of doing this to another human being. It's just fucking heartbreaking. So the crazy part is we're supposed to be a comedy podcast. That's how we're categorized on the podcast platforms. So I'm gonna cut it off right there because I absolutely watched the first two. I'd like to watch the rest of the episodes, but we'll see what the next week brings.
Okay.
Because you got to be in the mood, man. It's because it's not a happy-go-lucky like, oh, I'm in the mood for a laugh. Like it is the absolute opposite of that. You're like, you got to be ready for some depressing.
It's dark,
dark shit.
but I loved it.
Yeah. I like that dark stuff.
Not, yeah, I don't want to. It's like not like any kind of or defamity or anything like that. But
Yeah.
but I want to know these kind of stories, and I want to know that at some point some good prevailed. I want to know that if
look,
it just ended
you
on
might be spoiling it for me because I haven't seen the first two, but hopefully some good fucking prevails over the next 5 hours. Because
I can't give it away.
it's
But,
nothing but fucking dark, depressing shit for the first two. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, well,
So,
I can't.
don't spoil it.
I
Don't
can't
spoil it
say
for me.
either way. But yeah, I mean, it would suck if anything that you were watching like that ended, and they say,
But you know what? That's the difference between a movie, and I apologize, I'll be done after this. That's the difference between a movie and a documentary. In a movie, you're far more likely to get the happy ending that you want.
right, exactly.
Because who the fuck wants to end in that way? But documentaries don't follow the same
No,
rules.
'cause it's
Documentaries should
true.
hew to real life. Right, and real life is dirty and nasty and mean, and it's not fair.
Right.
Not fair. The good guy doesn't always win. Bad people win all the time, and good people suffer. That's that's life.
Touch on this real quick as far as because I don't remember the first two episodes if they broke this.
Oh,
down.
they're dark.
If they broke this
Oh my
down,
God, they're
but
dark.
did they break down what kind of person Sister Sesnick was?
A little bit, but no, they didn't focus like a whole episode on her. That they clearly she was someone that
Was she a normal person? Was she a bad person? Was she a good person?
She in the first 2 episodes, she was someone that, according to her former students, that they felt she was like a ray of sunshine. Like she was so enthusiastic and she was someone that they felt that they could confide in, and who, when they told her, like, oh, I'm going down to see Father Martel, I'm sure I'm getting that name wrong, and she was like, what for? And they would kind of sort of hem and haw about it, but they're like, I looked, and they're this is the interview with them like years later, where they're saying, like, I looked in her eyes, like I knew she knew. And she said to me, like, I don't want you to worry about it. You know, it's the end of the school, end of the term. I want you to go home, have a good vacation.
Father Maskell.
I was close.
Yep.
I was close.
Once you said it, I was like, that's it.
That's it.
That's the bastard.
I want you to go home. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. And that's the information I got through 2 hours of the 7-hour documentary. So maybe there's more to come, but so far she's been sort of a guiding light for these girls, and it's definitely been
In a very dark time.
Yeah. So let's go to
You are welcome, sir.
Well, but to touch on what, what Nick was saying too, as far as the documentaries, and you don't watch it because you're like, oh, I love this, and I get off on this kind of stuff. Just knowing that stuff like that is out there and happens, and having the knowledge of it, and it opens your mind to things that you might have never thought about before.
Yeah, think about, especially if that was, the 50s, like older brothers or parents that may have gone through this kind of stuff that never spoke out about it.
And we're in a time now where it's awesome that people can make these documentaries that bring light to that.
We're at a time now, right now in 2020 where there's talk of, like, are we whitewashing history by taking down monuments to Confederate generals? Are we what impact are we having by revisiting the curriculum in schools to more accurately reflect information that American history has squashed because it's not pretty, it's not reflective and complementary to exalting America to the place that we grew up thinking that America was the greatest country in the world. It's only when you grow up and you realize that we weren't necessarily the greatest country in the world. There's a lot of dark shit in our past, a lot of it. And so
There's a lot of dark shit in everybody's like
there
past,
is,
though.
but we are masters at going, let's push all that shit down. We're not going to tell anybody about it.
Right.
We're awesome. And you grow up and your kids grow up and they realize that that's not always the case. And shit like Juneteenth and things like that, where, like, I wasn't taught that in school. Like I learned about it this year. And
Yeah.
I'm 50.
Yeah, me too.
I didn't even know. And that's tragic. But to me, that's what movies do. Like, The Keepers was dark. It was depressing. But I'd never substitute the experience of being able to feel the way I felt when I watched it so that I could remember how I feel about things like that happening. Mm-hmm. I may feel it's dark and depressing. I may not agree with any of it. I may feel a lot of outrage about it, but it reminds me of my morals. It reminds me of what I value and what I abhor, and lets me know that, hey, as good as the world is now, it wasn't always that good. So let's not ever forget to make it better for our children, to be conscious about, assault toward women, and that kind of stuff still goes on today. And what can we do about it? And that's the sort of thing that, like, I'll always take that experience, because otherwise you just kind of, it's so easy to just live your life where that's just not a part of your life. It's not something that ever comes into your worldview and you don't have to deal with. And so you just kind of go like, oh, I do my job and raise my kids and hang out with my friends and everything's great. So it's living life, and I'd always take that. Always.
I mean, that's just like, like you said, they don't teach you that in school,
Yeah.
Oh, we're great. We're so great all the time, but okay, well, we came over here, it wasn't even my ancestors, but, people that came over to America and slaughtered all these Native Americans.
Yeah.
Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of them.
Yeah.
Just because we wanted it. That's what we want.
Yep.
But we're great. We're amazing.
Yep. And
Women, children. You know,
Yep.
I mean, cut these people in their, you know, their population down to like nothing.
And I apologize for smiling. It's not really something to smile about.
No, but I
I
mean,
was thinking about the Louis C.K. routine where he's like, "Oh, you Indians," and they're like, "No, we are not Indians." And he's like, "Nah, you're Indians. That's just what we're gonna call you. Let's just round you up in this."
But it was probably funnier when you did.
Yeah, I was saying
it's a horrible
Right. Well,
joke,
I mean, that's
but it's the
that's
truth.
that's just it. We came over here. They came over here. The sellers came over here, and they're like, "Oh, well, we thought we were India, so we're going to call you Indians." Well, now we've realized that we're not in India, but we're still going to call you Indians. That makes.
Because what we're used to.
I mean,
and we like that.
and it's all been about I, you know,
Yeah.
and always, and so I mean, yeah, it's horrible, and yeah, the past is dirty, dirty as dishwater, and obviously we're always going forward and hopefully in a positive direction.
Hopefully.
All right.
All right. So I want to go across the table now because I have the great fortune, sir, to have given each of these people their picks. And we desperately need something that's a little bit more uplifting.
I need to hear what he thought about the pick I gave him too when I wasn't here.
Well, how are the Seleskis this evening?
Oh, that's better.
Well done, sir. So you want to do that first?
I don't care. It doesn't matter.
Okay, what was the pick you
I gave him Dead to Me.
How many weeks ago was this?
Oh God.
A couple.
It was actually the 24th. I got it down here. All right. So,
Yeah, I discussed it last episode.
oh, okay, good. So go back and listen to episode
I ain't
84.
gonna fucking do that.
I watched the entire.
I know you watched
Yeah.
all of it because I came out.
Don't you
and then-
guys live together?
Yeah, well, I came out in the living room at one point and I was like, "You're on season 2." He's like, "Yeah, that's where I'm at." I was like, "You only had to watch 2 episodes." I just want to know if he liked it.
I
have to
did.
go into great detail.
Yeah,
He did.
Okay.
Awesome.
We'll talk about the detail later.
Awesome.
I
but
just
yes,
wanna know if he liked it.
I did like it.
I think
Okay.
you're good. All right,
That's
so
all you
I
need to
want
know.
to start with Danielle
Yes.
because of the 2 movies, yours is the more uplifting, and I feel like that's exactly what we need right now.
Oh God, we need that.
So
I mean, I don't know how uplifting it was.
I've seen the movie that you're. Did you watch? What did you have to watch?
It's Boyhood, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all,
he had to watch Blade Runner.
oh,
So
I never watched that.
Yeah, you're the more uplifting.
Okay, well, first of all, the ending, fucking terrible. I was so pissed after watching the whole thing, and I was like, "That's how they fucking ended."
Hold on. Why don't you just give a quick recap of what the movie was about?
It follow. I can't remember the kid's name. I just watched it the other day. They follow like which I did enjoy that they followed all the characters, the same characters as they like aged through this movie.
Meaning that they took there was the
It was like
the
a
mom and the dad,
10. It was like a 10-year.
mom and the dad, and the son,
The
of
kids.
son of the daughter, right?
Yeah.
And they got together every 3 years, I think.
Yeah,
for
something like that.
12 or 15 years, something. Over the course of over a decade,
Yeah,
and so they would shoot
because like the last
a little bit every year, and then they would come back like 3 years later and shoot a little bit more.
right? Because like the
Same
last
actors.
year was during the McCain-Obama election. Was like the last
Yeah.
set of years that they
Yes.
recorded, filmed. But it was just really interesting to see like how different aspects like affected the way like the characters like evolved, like how everything impacted them, different people coming in and out of their lives, like because their parents are divorced and the mom gets remarried twice, and
Right.
yeah, it was very interesting. I did not like the way it ended. Because it just kind of like ended. Like he was in a good place. He was happy. But I just didn't like that it just kind of like ended at
I think
the moment.
so. Ethan Hawke played the mom.
The dad.
Right? The dad. Did I just say the mom?
Yeah.
Ethan Hawke was amazing as the
amazing as the
mom.
mom.
It was
Oh
pre-
my god!
Great female actor.
Put
a wig on him.
Arquette
He
was
had
the
that
mom.
surgery. Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah, Patricia Arquette played
Patricia
the mom.
Arquette played the mom. Ethan Hawke was the dad.
Yeah.
And the son's name was Eller Coltrane
Yeah, I don't know. Who
in
that
real
is.
life.
Right.
But he was the movie centered on him. It was his.
Boyhood
is the title.
Right.
The subject was about him growing up, and so you got to watch him age from I don't know what he start at like 6 or 8.
No, I think he
8 up to 18, something like that, or 6 up to 18.
Maybe.
Because at the end of it, he was in college. He
right. It was
college.
the last.
He's probably 18.
The last one ends on his like first day of college.
Yeah, so he's probably 18. But it was kind of I think that's what happens in a slice of life movie where things don't like I got the princess at the end and saved the day, and
right.
you know what I mean. There's
he
not
had so many up and downs throughout his life.
He did.
Yeah.
He had a lot more downs than he probably had ups.
You're not helping me here with
I'm sorry.
you got to bring it back up. Like I get it,
I
but
don't worry.
there were ups, right?
The next review will be much more
No,
uplifting.
it won't.
Well, I know
No,
when you said
it
like
won't.
you had the more uplifting, I was like, but not really.
And
Between the two,
everyone
I've
died
seen
again.
both movies.
Well, I know.
Oh boy!
But no, I did
Okay.
enjoy it.
Well, I'm glad
It
that you
was a good
liked
movie.
it. I'm like I had it. I've got a very short list. You know, I have a list of ideas for everybody.
Looks like we should have ended with Nick.
Corey's list and Nick's list is very long, especially Nick's because he hasn't seen shit.
Thank you.
But Danielle's is very short. There's only a couple that I had, and I picked that one because I'm like, I hope that she likes.
I did like it.
Yeah, it kind of hit me really hard.
Mm-hmm.
I like that movie, but I have kids, and maybe that's the difference.
Maybe, yeah. I did get emotional, so not
That's
that
all-
it's.
that's
I
all
was
I
going to
asked
say,
for. Not
well,
that
that
it's
doesn't really say
That's
much.
all I can ask
Right.
for. All right, so
I
before
just
we
said like it's not like it's hard.
all right before we go into Corey's review, let's we've got these shots in here, probably getting warm again.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay. So this is exactly what Nick was just telling me not to do. Like, hey, in the middle of no story whatsoever, why don't you just get up and leave me just hanging and
Nick,
have it
if
tell a
you
story?
can grab me one too while you're over there.
Yeah, let's
He's getting
no
my
stay.
shot.
Just keep walking around more. Take a few more steps. Maybe mix a drink while you're there.
No, it's
Would you like to get a
is it
shaker and maybe
frozen?
make a martini while you're at it?
It's my shot.
No, it's up on the
where could
the
it be?
dryer, getting nice and dry.
Nice and toasty. That's a good spot.
No,
for
take your
beer.
time. No, we weren't in the middle of anything or anything. That's fine.
Oh, hey.
Oh, hey, Corey.
Oh, thanks. Is anything gonna
What
come
the
out?
fuck? I hope that's fucking ice cold, pure alcohol, like ethanol.
Is that like, is it frozen to your hand?
Like ethanol alcohol.
I'll give you $5 if you can hang on to that for 25 seconds.
Just stick into your fingers.
I'll take that bet.
I don't want that there.
Finger fucking prints.
You realize that's going to stick to the tablecloth.
Nick Bader's rejoined us, thank God, because we've missed him so much.
Hey, you.
Oh, Nick.
Ooh.
Okay, ready?
Here we go.
Danielle's got a little dew from the front lawn in her glass.
That's what it looks like.
Elderberry juice. Oh,
Wow,
So-
wow.
here
What-
we go to Corey.
What do we need on an audio podcast where our microphones are resting on the table? Well, we need someone to pound
Oh, you got to
belligerently on the table.
you got to get it out. Got to get it out. It's either that or I go.
Not talking about
Woo!
not talking about your BM.
You got to.
Woo! Moving right along
Every-
to Corey Selesky.
What is with wine and him yelling woo?
Corey,
It does
what
happen.
was the movie you had to watch?
Oh, I had to watch Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I give you the disc for that, or did you have to buy it?
No, I ended up renting it on YouTube.
You did.
I did.
Okay.
So you were on a quite a streak there with some great movies with all the Tarantino stuff.
I can see how this is gonna go then.
Finally, serve it up to him, Corey. Serve it up right.
Yeah. Tell me how you really feel.
Yeah, we did all the Tarantino movies. That
We did.
fucking
We went through his
phenomenal.
The oeuvre.
I cannot say.
Hold on, Nick. This is French. Through Tarantino's oeuvre.
Oh, that's wonderful, Bob.
There you go.
That's discography.
No, oeuvre.
I'm a little grossed out now, but
I'll mute him in a second, Corey. Just
all
continue.
French.
I'm sorry.
yeah. So after going through all that, amazing movies. Wow, this fucking movie was fucking terrible.
Really?
Absolutely horrible.
Hated it?
Every last second.
Okay.
From the very beginning until the very end.
Okay. Now this is the original Blade.
The
Runner.
original Blade, 1982.
82.
Sing it, sister.
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford.
Edward James Olmos.
Dude.
Daryl Hannah. And
We'll get to Daryl Hannah.
All right,
we'll get to
go
that.
ahead.
He hasn't read the first line yet. Hold on.
Legitimately.
So in my notes, he
No,
walks into the room and there's
he
not many
legitimately
people
watched
there.
it. He wouldn't
And
be
he
that
said,
much of a dick.
"Oh, hello, Blade Runner."
No, dude, I fucking hated this movie.
He didn't. You can't have that visceral. This is the visceral of a reaction to a movie if you haven't seen it. So hats off to you, sir. At least you watched it.
So it was from 82. It was filmed in 82. Based in 2019.
Wait, what?
Oh, was it supposed to be?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah. So apparently in 2019, everything is insanely futuristic.
Everyone's flying in the
Dude, are you legitimately questioning what they thought in 2019 was going to be in 1982?
But
you got it so wrong.
But it was really
How dare
what was
you.
crazy was because they were still using products from 1982 to make things look futuristic. So
That's what
there were still these
you know
big,
why?
huge
Because they didn't
TVs.
have 2019 products in 1982.
Yeah, I get it.
Do you even realize in 1982?
See, Bob's getting all pissy pants now because I shit on the movie.
We thought there should be. We legitimately thought bullshit.
Yeah, there should be flying cars.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's what was in the fucking movie. Was these
yes.
flying?
Do you know how disappointed we are that there are not flying cars now?
I'm doing just fine.
No, it's because the government doesn't want us in the air.
No, I'm so disappointed.
That's why.
So
I've been cheated.
And apparently, too, in 2019, back when it was 82 and they were looking forward into the future, every day is rainy. There wasn't a single fucking scene in that movie
where
it wasn't raining.
It looks a lot cooler when it's raining, honestly.
Well, it's hard to fly those cars in the rain.
They had just to find no issue.
I'm going to tell you that movie would have been 50% shittier if it had been sunny and out in the
This is
movie.
great.
I might have liked it more.
This is amazing.
It might have gave me a better feeling about the movie.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
So that all aside, Harrison Ford's.
Oh,
That's what the name of the brand of the flying car was. Harrison's Fords.
Yeah, there you go.
So I see where all the Naked Gun movies
The Naked Gun movies
get their narration from. How they are making fun of because they're making fun of other movies.
Oh, okay.
The narration that Harrison Ford did in Blade Runner.
So I should have been more clear. There are, and I thought I know I gave you Danielle's movie to watch, but this Blade Runner I gave you last week.
Yes.
Did I tell you that I was going to try to give it to you ahead of time?
It was on the list for me. Because
I mean to let me rent it at my house and get it for you so you don't have to rent it. I have it on disc.
I have no idea.
There's like 5 different variations of the theatrical release, and only one of them has the voiceover. And apparently you got the voiceover.
I watched the one with the voiceover then because
literally it's a lot shittier with the voiceover.
You can tell exactly where Naked Gun got the idea.
Probably, they hated it. We all hated it. Everyone hated the voiceover.
Yeah, and
you are welcome.
I feel horrible now because I didn't realize.
I'm not gonna lie. I'd rather do subtitles than Harrison's Ford's. I know. I don't know why I do that. I'd rather read subtitles than hear him do his own narration.
Gonna change it to him.
Yeah, him
there
who?
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford.
There you are. No, I'm with you totally. I feel horrible. Like you had a 1 in 5 shot of.
I can tell you
one.
feel very distressed.
No, I do.
That's why the movie was
you
bad.
hate it. Well, maybe it would be.
No, it wasn't just that. Like it was. So Nick and let me.
It didn't help apparently.
Let me
clearly.
Let me paint this picture for you. If you took Star Wars, The Fifth Element.
Oh my God!
2 movies he's never seen. Wait, keep going with this.
I've seen a lot of bits and pieces
keep
of The
asking
Fifth Element.
The guy who's never seen
the funny part was
movies.
when Cory said Blade Runner and said rainy and flying cars, I'm like, if it was like that fucking Fifth Element, it was so retarded.
Was Fifth Element didn't rain?
The Fifth Element, it was always
never a good day though.
It was like they looked all crazy and had crazy hair and all that.
It was hot and sunny the entire time through Fifth Element.
It was
you
so
didn't see
dumb.
any of those fucking movies. Why would you continue to ask this guy what he thinks about that?
Bruce
when you know he hasn't
Willis
seen
and
it?
the taxi cab and all that.
Okay, so
crap.
you read it IMDb like, I see who's in that movie. Like that's all you did.
So hang on, but
there's
then
not a drop of rain in the goddamn movie.
And who's the guy from Rush Hour with the stupid hair You know, he
I
was
don't
in
know,
the.
you tell me.
He was in the
Who
movie.
was it? You saw it.
I don't know his name.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, so
Keep going, Corey.
I'm sorry.
Keep going.
Who was the narrator of the documentary you just watched yesterday?
Sorry?
What was the guy's name? The guy that they talked about.
The journalist?
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
exactly.
Dude, I think I don't see how you have a leg to stand on as far as
Thank
movies
you.
that you've seen.
I think we're
compared to
done
me.
here. I think we're done.
My point is
I've
made.
proven my point.
I don't think so.
Christ.
All right, so suffice to say you hated it.
Yeah, well, and so not only just the rainy days and
Yeah.
Green.
terrible narration.
Mary J. Blige didn't like those either.
Luckily, I don't have a whole lot of other ones like that on my wish list for you here.
I hope you do.
I don't. Luckily.
Complete sci-fi movie.
Yeah. Not a big sci-fi fan.
And never have been.
Right.
And then on top
I
of
thought
that,
I would squeeze in Blade Runner because I'm like, oh, it's happening in like 2019 Los Angeles with lots of rain. It's not Star Wars.
well,
Not
apparently,
in space.
another
I
point
think
of
he
mine.
just needs to watch Star Wars.
2019
Oh,
Los
no.
Angeles apparently turns into Tokyo
Oh,
because that's all there's just Japanese restaurants
Well, you
everywhere.
can see the way things are going. I mean, eventually we're going to get there. Maybe it's 2049, whether it's 2059.
and
Tokyo.
the other issue I had with the movie,
they weren't wearing masks.
any foreign person they had in the movie
Yeah.
didn't actually speak the language they were portraying. It was just complete gibberish. There was
You lost me then. I'm not sure how that's different from.
Normal?
you could tell it wasn't the actual language. They were just saying random weird phrases.
Bookie doogly doo.
Basically.
You didn't recognize Cantonese, is what you're saying. The guy who didn't read subtitles was like, that's not Cantonese. I can tell by looking at the way your mouth is moving.
I can't fully read or listen to someone
Understand.
speaking Arabic, but I know the actual dialect of it and how it should sound. That's
So was
in
this
the movie.
was this a fake language?
Oh, completely.
Okay.
The actors doing it was basically what you just did was exactly what they were doing.
But you
Well,
can see the irony of
Dwight
someone
Schrute
who
likes Dothraki, so
someone who doesn't like to read in a movie and can't tolerate subtitles being upset that people made up a language that he didn't understand.
if they made it up, like legitimately made it up for the movie and stuck to it,
like that's kind of badass. Like that
That'd be
was
cool.
That's Star Trek. They
No,
made
no.
up an entire language.
Yeah,
no,
they
for the
did
Klingons.
Klingon.
because there was
yeah.
there was no subtitle. There was no actual reading of what they were saying.
But even better,
It was-
you didn't have to read.
no, it was just them being lazy and being like, well,
No,
rather than
you're
actually.
lazy. You don't like to read, and you didn't have to.
Game of Thrones Dothraki.
Exactly. I'm not. This is kind of Taylor. You can see why I picked this for you.
Dude, fucking again, terrible movie.
Don't like to read, doesn't understand subtitles, doesn't care to understand the language.
Made up languages are just terrible.
It wasn't even a language. It was just noises.
just terrible.
But that's all right. Well, you know what?
Again, dude,
I've always said like I can't make you like it. Like
No, I know,
you
and
hate
that-
it,
and
it's
that's-
fine.
So
I gave it a try.
Sci-fi movies for Corey. So that's what we should be giving.
Sci-fi?
You? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we should be giving you.
Or sci-fi?
No, it's Sci-fi.
Okay, just making sure.
I feel like if
use
you're
that.
at the
Short
point
for
where you're
science fiction, SKIENCE.
I feel
Come
like
on, Danielle.
the weird crazy science nerds would be like, oh, did you guys see that Sci-Fi show last night? Just funnier.
Is it?
But yeah, I sorry, dude. I
Don't
know you
not
might have liked
apologize.
it, but
I loved it, but that doesn't mean that everybody's gonna love it.
oh, sorry.
Yeah.
The greatest point of the movie.
Yeah.
Daryl Hannah, Danielle, cover your ears, being topless in the little short scene she had.
Right.
Only selling point of the movie.
Well, to
I
me,
don't know
there's
who
two. So if you
Okay,
forget
hold on.
I know the name, but I don't know what she
You
looks
really
like.
you threw me for a loop.
yeah,
Daryl Hannah is the
You threw me.
the lady that
She's
in
an
Ghostbusters.
android.
Well, she's in the movie. She's an android.
yeah,
but
yeah. Not in real life, of course.
I instantly thought of the larger white male from Saturday Night Live, but then I realized it was Daryl Hammond. I'm like, wait a second, that's disgusting.
Oh my God, you were so close. You were this close.
almost spot on. But yeah, I don't recommend it to anyone. Myself personally, I can't do that to
You wouldn't
anyone.
do that to anybody.
There's a speech
No.
that Rutger Hauer gives at the end where he's trapped Harrison Ford on a roof, but pulled him back in.
Yes.
Through the kindness of his heart, his cold android heart, and he knows he's dying, but he kind of slumps against the roof, and so that's the other high point of the movie for fans of the movie is that speech that he gives, that he's seen, gunships on fire off the belt of Orion, and all those things will be lost like tears in rain.
By
And
that,
then
by that point in the
they'd
movie,
already lost Cory by that point.
I was like, I just need to finish
like,
this so I can
fuck
tell
this
Bob I watched
fucking
it.
movie.
Wouldn't this restore your faith in robot manity, though, Bob? I mean, why would you watch that?
And that was the
No,
other. That was the other point I
no.
realized too. When there was the replicants, we're talking about those. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I see why this is a movie that Bob would have watched and not necessarily enjoyed, but be interested in because it's something that he's terrified of. So
Not in 1982. Not in
1982. Now
it was total fiction. It was based on a story by Philip K. Dick called "Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep?" And
they do.
And that was the story. So when you watch the movie, especially not the one with the voiceover, I don't even know how the one ends that you saw with the voiceover, but the big cliffhanger.
Wait, time out. Do they all end differently?
Yeah.
That's fucking stupid.
Do you know his
because he made the Ridley Scott made the movie. You know Ridley Scott. He made Gladiator and made a ton of other awesome movies. When he made the movie, he got pressure from the studio, and they're like, "Nobody can understand what you're doing. We need to have Harrison Ford do a voiceover." And he's like, "Fuck that. That's stupid." He's like, and they're like, "If you don't do that, we're not going to release your movie." He's like, "All right, I guess we're doing a voiceover." And they made him do it, and everybody hated it. It sucked. It's not what he wanted. So later on, when he got the money, he's like, "I want to do the non-voiceover version, and I also want to have the ending that I wanted," because they made him change that shit too. So at the end, the big question is, and I want to hear what Cory thinks about this because he actually saw it. If you actually made it to the end, I don't know if you did.
I did. I watched it all the way through.
But is Rick Deckard a replicant or not?
I feel like he was more of the replicant over Johanna's character.
Okay, it's very interesting because the movie loving world is split on that.
Oh, to me, it was they were pushing it towards Johanna's character the entire time, and that being the twist at the end that it wasn't. He was so interested about, how do you find replicants and blah blah blah, and
yeah.
At the end, to me, it revealed that he was the actual replicant that had kind of transformed and was intelligent enough to seem like he was not a replicant.
The guy's name, was it Dick Shannon, or the guy that wrote
Rick Deckard?
Rick Deckard,
No,
yeah.
Ridley Scott,
The one that wrote it.
who directed it.
The one that you said, yeah.
Ridley Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
Not Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Yeah,
They,
that guy.
they
That
said
guy.
there was a second movie.
There is. It was with Ryan Gosling and Harrison Ford.
Nope, no. It was there was a second movie. There was a second movie before the second movie that didn't get picked up.
Sorry, what?
There was a second movie that did
Before
not get
the second movie?
before the second movie that
You've lost me.
it didn't get picked up.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm serious.
I honestly don't know what you're talking about.
It was called Do Electric Sheep Ba.
God damn it.
Don't feed into him.
All right. No, I won't. Anyway.
It was not popular. It
Anyway,
was wildly unpopular.
Ignoring Nick Bader. All right, so let's end this with a new round. Can we do that?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. So I've already done the math on the Excel spreadsheet. Go ahead, Danielle.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's fine. Get it out of your system.
I can't because you won't stop laughing.
I have drawn Danielle.
Okay.
Cory has drawn Nick. Danielle has drawn Cory. Lucky you, Cory. And Nick has drawn me.
Again.
Yeah, it's fine. So, I'm gonna kick this off, and I'm gonna go first. So, Danielle,
Yes.
you need to watch
Mm-hmm.
the Fabulous Baker Boys.
The Fabulous Baker Boys?
Yes. Have you ever seen it?
Mm-mm.
Michelle Pfeiffer,
Okay.
Jeff Bridges,
Mm-hmm.
smoking hot.
Jeff was
Ooh,
looking
Jeff
pretty
Bridges.
good.
Both of them. Both
Wow.
of them. If you only know,
What's it on?
yeah, that's a great question.
me see that.
If I go to justwatch.com, which is we are not sponsored by them, but if you want to,
Grown.
if I want to know where something is actually playing, that's where I go.
That's where I go.
Fabulous Baker Boys.
Oh, I thought you were just talking about justwatch.com. It is fabulous.
The Fabulous Baker Boys, 1989. It is streaming on Stars and DirecTV. Other than that, I may have it at home.
Okay.
So if you guys end up dropping me off tonight, I will
Okay.
remind me. I'll run it down for you. I think you will really, really like that movie.
Okay.
I think Cory won't give a shit about it, but I'm not worried about Cory. I'm worried about you.
Right.
Okay. So then we have Nick. You've got me.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Fractured?
Is it on Netflix?
It is.
What is it? Is it a documentary?
Nope.
It's a movie. Hour and 40-minute movie? No, I have not.
Fractured. Netflix.
Gotcha.
Danielle, you remember that one?
Which one?
Fractured.
Yes.
Do you?
Yes.
Tell me what was it about?
I don't know. I've heard it.
Okay.
I think I watched
Just
it.
yeah, you did. Type it into Netflix and just look at the jacket and you'll know what I'm talking about.
All right. I got it. Yeah.
Whoa. Everything okay?
I'm all good. Cory, you got Nick. Do you have any idea?
I haven't watched it.
Oh my God, I thought that was Cory's voice. I was like, God, that was a great
I
Danielle.
haven't watched it, but
Because he went to open his mouth and that came out. Jesus.
It's on my list. I haven't watched it though.
Stop talking for him.
Great team. Nick, have you ever watched Workaholics?
Negative.
Then I am going to really uplift your spirits here.
Okay.
For first 3, I think they're 20-minute episodes.
Oh God, I got to watch 15 of them?
They go by real fast.
That's fast math.
It's right up.
Don't say my alley. I hate when Tony says that.
I was
going to
say your ass, but
I actually kind of say that all the time.
I'm listening.
Continue.
Right.
No, it's a very funny comedy series.
Okay. I don't believe I've seen it, so.
All right, there you go.
Sweet.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, on Hulu. And if you don't, do you have Hulu?
I do.
Okay, you're perfect then.
So that leaves Danielle. You have Cory.
Yes. Athlete A.
Sorry, what?
Athlete A. It's
Oh,
a
is that with
documentary.
The fucking gymnast.
Yep.
Athlete
on the-
A?
Yeah, it's about the Larry Nassar thing.
Oh, God.
Oh,
Sorry.
I didn't realize
Sorry,
that was the
dude.
name of it.
Yeah.
You
I
like
just-
that shit, though.
I know.
I already saw that.
That seems
No,
goddamn depressing.
I watched it the other day.
Is it Netflix? Amazon Prime?
Netflix.
Okay.
Corey, quick. I already saw that.
No, I didn't.
No, I haven't because I have seen
I
the
was
title on
watching
Netflix,
it
but
the other day.
And we get to watch it together.
I already watched it.
I'll still watch it again with you, honey.
It was really good.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
It's fucked up. That's why I said if you got it, you were just gonna get another fucked up.
Yeah, thank
Documentary.
Christ I didn't get that.
Oh, but he's got mine.
I do. But that's fine.
Oh!
I'm good. I'm all right. I'll deal with it. Cory, you know what segment I want to go into next?
what might that be, Bob?
Funko this.
Oh, we're doing Funko this already?
Yes, we are.
Wow.
Is
That
it already
funny
that
episode.
time?
Yeah. If we're all going by the same order of the segments, then yes.
Well, I might just happen to have something for you guys for this week for Funko this.
Oh, I knew you would.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I think, I know Bob's going to get quite a tickle out of this one.
Pickle tickle?
I really hope
You're
it's
gonna
not a pickle
you're,
tickle.
you're actually gonna regret saying that once I show you. You are really gonna regret saying
Yeah.
that.
Is this going to be from
really
like
are.
Veggie Tales or something?
This
No,
is
no, no.
the
Did you buy a Veggie Tales Funko this?
I don't think they have it.
this is the Vlasic
God, I hope
Stork.
they do.
This is the Vlasic Stork Funko.
Give it to me, Corey. Give it to me. Here we go.
I'd do anything for a Vlasic.
I got
All right.
I do have prepped here.
Remember, we do have audio only listeners.
I know.
Okay.
So here's why you regret that, Bob.
Why would you? Okay. So what I'm looking at here, folks,
I don't know anything about a pickle in
for
this.
purveyors of the executive version of this podcast, he's showing me a Freddie Mercury Queen 96. Is that the number of the?
That's the number of the actual Funko Pop.
Okay, so does that mean that's the 96th one in sequence they've ever produced, or what does that mean?
Correct. In the music. So you see.
Oh.
So you
Pop Rocks.
Pop
I
Rocks.
got
That's the 96th one they've done.
it. Freddie Mercury's only 96.
Yes.
How did they get 95 other people in front of Freddie Mercury?
That I do not know. I will have to look into that for you.
If Jethro Tull is number 95, I'm gonna cut a bitch.
I think it's
on that.
Waylon Jennings.
God, I will shoot up a building if it's Waylon Jennings at 95.
Don't worry, everybody. He doesn't have a firearm.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm totally unarmed.
But yeah, that's I figured out of
That
lot of the other
mustache
ones.
is very pronounced.
dude.
He
He
was a
was known. He was known for it.
This was, well, in the later years, not the early
Oh,
days.
right,
but
right.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Wow,
Fred.
that's Freddie Mercury, all right.
And there's
You know what you don't see underneath that mustache? Choppers.
Oh God, man.
there just wasn't enough plastic in the Funko factory to.
Yeah.
To
You would
make
think
that
in the Funko factory they could have put some prosthetic choppers underneath that mustache.
Yeah, because you could also take the head from Freddie Mercury and swap it on to like a Super Troopers, and it could be Garcia.
Yeah. Without the choppers, exactly.
I could see that.
You need to make Freddie Mercury a little distinctive.
Well, there's one that I'm still working on that hopefully
You're working on?
Well, that I'm not making. That I'm
I
working
was
on.
gonna
I'm
say.
trying to try.
Has
He's
Cory
whittling it at home.
infiltrated the?
He's got all kinds of clay
Yeah,
and acrylic paints.
one that I'm trying to acquire. That hopefully in a few weeks here
Okay.
we can revisit the
Theme of Ghost is playing. Danielle's hands are around Cory.
Oh my love,
Both their shirts are off.
my darling.
I love when we make Funkos together.
her chest is hairy.
Wait, keep
That's
going.
right.
Keep going. I'll keep singing.
No, I've had enough. I just almost made myself throw up.
Nice.
So there you go.
So you own this now. You
I
have
do.
a Freddie Mercury. Okay. What made you decide? I didn't know you were that big of a Queen fan.
Oh, Cory, yeah, he is. Do you not remember the
Mustache he grew?
No.
What
The
dental work he didn't have?
the Live Aid times that we had to come over
Live
at my
Aid
house that he would be like, have you guys listened to the Live Aid? I mean, he was all about that.
Did you just kind of go like, was it very sort of like a
I don't know. Did I?
theatrical, like,
Yes.
do you remember the time with the Live Aid?
No, it's not the Michael Jackson
Okay.
thing.
I don't
Yeah, no.
well,
You
I
remember?
wasn't wearing a glove. I'm not sure. What?
No, yeah, he was all about Live Aid and the song and everything, and then he went. You saw the movie, correct, Cory?
I have not seen the movie yet.
Yeah,
thought
see,
you
he
did.
didn't know. I had. Yeah, I think
No,
you
I
and
know
I.
you were big on Live Aid, and you were also big on Freddie Mercury.
I was big on.
but he was for a very small fraction.
Yeah, I had
of time.
just recently seen the movie and discovered how close it was to Live Aid, and I
Correct.
was really kind of marveling at that. But I know Corey's never seen that movie.
No, but he really loves. He likes Queen. He likes Freddie Mercury.
You
You do, don't
I'm looking
you?
at it for confirmation.
I do. And
Okay.
well, Queen's one of the bands growing up that was again like stuff that your dad listened to. That I'm not saying Queen, but that you remember from growing up.
No, keep going.
That you remember from growing up. That you
Do I?
I wasn't again not
Bob's
Queen.
dad listened
My
to like
dad-
the Tennessee Waltz.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
What he means is it's something from like his childhood he remembers
Yes.
like listening to.
You remember because your dad played it.
Right. My parents
Yeah,
did the same thing.
but I also took a liking to it.
No, I get it, but you made it kind of sound like, oh, this is what I grew up with. This is the shit that I listen to on the radio.
It is.
No.
Yes.
I do. I was listening to Queen in high school.
Well, you were listening to 94.7 because your dad was, and you were lucky enough to have a dad who listened to classic rock.
You grew up listening to Bop by Hanson.
On my actual iPod, I had
Queen?
a ton of Queen songs, yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I still have the iPod that I can show you to prove it.
Now, you're not talking
I was
about
the
just like
same
because you
way.
played football, you had We Are the Champions. And
that was actually one of the worst. I'm not a fan of We Are the Champions.
okay. Another one bites the dust. We Are the Champions.
He actually
all that
had
shit.
the Queen, Elizabeth, just where she was just talking, telling her life story.
Her autobiography.
In memory of your faithful service, I knight thee. Arise, sirloin of beef. Arise, Earl of Clothes.
So then,
Arise.
I told Charles.
Wow.
Right now, Mike just immediately turned off the podcast. No, Mike does
He
not.
was never listening to
was
this.
saying-
Oh, he did.
Never.
He did comment on it. He did on the podcast.
Are you fucking kidding me?
But the funny thing is he did. I'll show you the notification. But
Arise, milk of magnesia, a quarter of 10.
but the great part, the great part of it is that Mike despises the royal family. So
They all do. That's fine.
It's just Americans that like them.
seriously,
A lot of Americans despise them too. That's fine.
But yes, no, huge Queen fan.
Okay.
That's why I ended up getting the Freddie Mercury.
You should have mentioned that to Mike while we were there today. How much of a Queen fan you were.
he was
I never heard a Queen song while we
he
were
was
there. but
way too busy chewing.
He did make some fantastic brisket.
Yeah, hold on.
I was
Hold
saying,
on.
So before we get in this topic of Mike, because I did want to talk about it, and
Yeah, we should.
I took the time to
In case he's actually listening.
Well, I got a picture of Mike here.
Would this be a pick of the week, or is this just a rough segue?
This is a rough segue? Okay.
What are we at time wise?
3:15.
A little under 2 hours.
Okay. I didn't know how close we were.
Given the break and all that.
Yeah.
Or a little over 2 hours.
That's why I said given the break and all that.
All that.
Oh, damn it, Danielle.
The catch all.
So I'm going to put up the picture of Mike, the freelance chef, and his Facebook.
Yeah, so we are proud to say that we have listeners all across this great land and this great planet, in fact, but locally here in the United States, in the Midwest, in Michigan, one of Nick's close relatives is Michael J., who owns the Freelance Chef out of Brighton, Michigan. Are you sharing it?
Yeah.
Okay. I can't see it on the screen that I'm looking at, but okay. So we were fortunate enough to be able to make it out to his Freelance Chef kitchen today to just shake the hand of a guy who we've heard a lot about. Cory and I have specifically, and Nick works with him every day. We'll just say 4 or 5 days a week, sometimes more. But we were happy just to go out and meet the man and just say thank you for, he makes some of the best lobster bisque I've ever had. But more importantly, like, he's also undergone some major surgery, and we wanted to make sure that he was okay and show our support. And so it was awesome to come out there and meet him today and just to hang out and shoot the breeze, have a beer with him. And he and Nick prepared a little bit of food and fed us while we were there. It was amazing.
God.
Pulled pork and brisket.
That brisket. I've never had a brisket that I've honestly enjoyed that much. Like, because I even told Danielle, like, even the fatty parts of it on a normal any other brisket I've ever had,
Which is disgusting.
It's always disgusting. It's gristly. It's you take a bite out and you're like, okay, well, that just kind of ruined that piece for me.
I'm gonna spit that piece out. Yep.
There was plenty of fatty parts that I had. I'm like, holy fuck.
Well, he sous vide it for 12 to 14 hours, he said.
Yeah, oh my God.
No. The brisket wasn't sous vide. I believe he smoked the brisket.
Oh, I thought you pulled them both out of sous vide.
No. So he, what he does with the sous vide is what we'll do is we'll bring things up to temperature, which is typically 160 degrees.
Okay.
And since it's something that was cooked beforehand, because a lot of it's so labor intensive or it takes 12 hours to make, we do a flash freeze. We vacuum seal and freeze it that day because they're huge quantities.
Yeah.
So now you can take out that small quantity and say, look at all this hard work, but instantly share it with someone. So what we do is bring it up to temperature, put it in a sous vide. The FDA states that, food has to either be brought down to a certain temperature, kept in a refrigerator at around 40 degrees, or brought up to a temperature and holding that temperature to make sure that, there's no bacterial growth and things like that. So 160 degrees is what is safe. That's why, like, if you have a hot box or something, you're not going to actually cook the food. You're not going to burn it, but you're going to keep it at a constant, like, very, very warm temperature. So that way nothing, can happen to the food.
Right.
You're not going to lose any characteristics of the flavor or anything like that, but it's going to be safe always. So what we did was we brought it up to temperature since it was flash frozen, and we kept it in the sous vide at 160 until we knew you guys would be there. So
amazing. And then ciabatta rolls on the grill, browned.
Yeah. So they're
is brown the word?
no, not necessarily. So we brush with butter, salt, and pepper.
Okay.
And grilled rolls. Yeah. Grilled ciabatta rolls. Yeah.
And then the brisket on top of that, and then homemade barbecue sauce
and hand cut fries.
Oh God, so good.
Oh, and then I had homemade horseradish on mine.
Oh, you were so lucky too.
My God, that was
I did not get a
amazing.
lick of that, but I was after the hot sauce that we tried earlier. They were going through hot sauces and making various levels of like, oh, here's pina colada hot sauce,
Different
with
intensities.
ghost chili. Oh, here's a coconut hot sauce with scorpion chili, and they gradually kind of got hotter and hotter, and I ducked out like just in time, but I could see that Cory and Danielle had tried the hottest of the hot sauces, and they're like, "Oh, good, Bob. Good thing you didn't try this," because and I'm like, "Oh God, thank God I didn't try that."
But the cool part was you could see like, he's trying to go out on a limb and like, culinarily speaking, like. Really kind of trying to change the game when it comes to it. You're not. Who would have thought? Oh, let's have something that tastes like pina colada that's spicy.
Right.
I mean, no, it's just not where your brain goes, but it works.
So, and I will say, as far as like, especially the sauces that we tried when we first got there, it's stuff that like we've all been to B-dubs and we've all had wings and things of that nature. Dude, these could potentially be like game changing sauces, because that pina colada, it
was so good.
Had such a different taste to it that I've literally never experienced before. You had the citrus at first, and not a strong hit in the face of citrus, but enough to where you realize what it was, and then so a little heat to follow. Dude, I'm telling you, he's sitting on a gold mine.
So, and that's what we're trying to do is we're trying to kind of mess around, as Mike in Mike's own words, and we're trying to come up with things that we like certain like really good flavors. But with Mike, it's always everything is from the ground up, from breads to barbecue sauce to salad dressing to beef Wellington. Every single part of it he's going to make.
Well,
to mayonnaise. He makes his own mayonnaise.
You can tell like how much pride he takes in it too, because like when he asked me if I like mustard, and he like got all giddy and like running over to get his homemade mustard for me to try.
Right.
And yeah.
Well, see, and then the thing is that he's so humble. Like,
absolutely.
To give him this plug, you don't even realize it. I mean, you're eating the food and it's phenomenal. But first of all, to the listening audience that people don't know, Mike's list of accolades and achievements and accomplishments cannot be put on paper in 9 font because there's too many. He very rough to say what he is. He's English. He studied in London. Went to school with Gordon Ramsay. Same school. Knew the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Just so happened Gordon became famous. Mike had some choice words about Gordon, but we'll leave it at that. He said
He loves him.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike. I know you don't.
Yeah, he said, he's a great chef, but as arrogant as he is now, he was back then, and we were both 17. So he had told me that you can go to college or finishing school or whatever at 17, in England, and they went to all these ridiculous culinary schools, and I guess one of the you've made it kind of places is the Savoy Hotel in London. Bob actually brought up that the Beatles sang a song about it. So that's the kind of food that they had. And Mike was a chef there, and all over, and has gone to all the countries and learned, culinary education in France and everywhere, as he says, France, everywhere else.
France.
Yeah, Americans. But he literally has these books. He brought out books, 1,000-page books that were this. He couldn't carry them all. And he would say that in his schooling, they would take the book and flip it open to a page with all this fine text of, sous de clan, some French dish.
Yes.
Wait, can you say that again?
Sous de clan. And they'd be like, okay,
One of my favorites.
make this. Don't look at the book. Make it
too salty.
what goes into it. And that's how they were taught. So he would have to make this dish, some French cooking dish that he couldn't look at any kind of recipe. If I looked at a recipe, I'd be like, oh my God, I don't even understand half these words. So that's the kind of stuff this guy knows. So smoking brisket, homemade barbecue, all that that's nothing to him. He's like, it's brisket, it's pulled pork, who cares, But it's phenomenal, So I'm glad you guys got to come out.
Yes.
Yeah, we were happy to.
Amazing.
It was awesome. Yeah, he's an amazing guy.
Yeah, especially given what he's just undergone with his back surgery and all that, and being out there. That's a very short turnaround for him to be walking around the kitchen like that.
He's got about 2 to 3 weeks, literally, within 30 hours. Had one very life-threatening surgery where they had to move all his organs around and cut major arteries and then stitch them back together. And then the day before had spinal surgery. And he's up walking around, and his main concern is his feet are swollen.
They are very swollen.
They're
Yes,
very
they
swollen.
are.
Yeah.
Mike, you should sit down and not be upright.
And elevate your feet.
Yeah. He should have been in like a chaise lounge with his feet up over his head.
Yeah, he should be in a
for
full
the
body
entire time
cast.
that we saw him.
Yeah.
But he wasn't. He
wants to drink a pint with everyone.
yeah, he was.
Wants to have a cigarette.
One of those great kind of guys who we just shot the breeze with him.
Mm-hmm.
It was.
I was actually honored to go over there and meet him and hang out with him.
Yeah.
After all the talking we've done about him and having tasted his food, and the food that you've made with him, to actually meet him in person and see him and see, where he does his work at and creates all that. It was
And like I said, it's amazing. Like if you saw his, and I've read through, and he doesn't boast about it. He doesn't tell people unless
if you've seen his, and I have.
No, his laundry. I'm at a loss.
Laundry.
His laundry list of where he's been and what he's done, and I'm usually at a loss of words because it's so overwhelming to talk about him. But he's cooked for Sting, and the royal family, and like all these people, all these amazing celebrities, and he didn't come out and tell me. I just started asking about people. I said one day, hey, do you like the Beatles? The Beatles are all right. And I say, oh, do you like Sting? Oh, yeah, he's one of the nicest people I met.
Right.
I'm like, the nicest people you met. Oh, yeah, I've cooked for him before. I'm like, what?
Yeah. It's nice to see just how much he enjoys what he does
Loves it. Absolutely loves it.
and to share it with other people.
And you see him in his complete downtime.
Right.
He is like the Tasmanian devil cartoon when he's in that kitchen. He's,
But even having us try stuff, he's like, oh, do this. Oh, try this. Oh, go over here. Oh, wait, let me go grab this. And
But a lot of that's Nick. And if I could just speak directly to the Schnozzcast audience just for a second, let me just assure you how at home and comfortable and in command as a what, for lack of a better term, my ignorant brain is calling a sous chef, Nick Bader is in this kitchen. Nick's in his element, and it was very easy to tell. Like, I've heard a lot of stories, and Nick and I have talked a lot about this, and I've been very curious about it. Like, how is it going? Like, what do you think? Like, I know even before you met him, your Instagram was full of pictures of meals that you'd made and your own garden that you'd pulled, fresh herbs and, things from the garden. You wanted to grow things. You got very much a green thumb and very much a fan of the culinary arts. What do you think? How is it going? And nothing beats seeing him in that environment and seeing how at home he is and how happy and proud he is for what they've kind of sort of not built, but amplified, collaborated to amplify over the last several weeks. It was very, very much a joy to see, and very, very, I was happy for Nick the whole time that we were there too. It wasn't just about meeting Mike. It was more like, this is what he's been doing, and this is what you kind of felt like you were born to do that.
And
No, I appreciate that.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Mike was also kind of looking for a partner that enjoyed it just as much as he did or does. And when Nick came in, apparently that was something that Nick showed, and he saw that in Nick, to basically allow someone in there with no prior culinary training or culinary schooling, and be able to connect where they did, on the level they did, and to even Mike doesn't know us from Adam, so to have us out there just from being your friends and hang out with you guys in the actual kitchen and just, there was nothing. I felt bad at certain points. The guy would touch something to look at it. I was like, oh, this is his kitchen. I don't want to. I shouldn't disturb things. I shouldn't put my hands on things. But the entire time,
when you stuck your finger in that giant pot of stew, I'm like, Cory, you shouldn't be doing that.
Well,
you have to imagine.
You appear to be contaminating it completely. And then you just walked away and shut the door, and I'm like, I hope nobody saw that.
It's my pot of stew now.
But just imagine. Just kind of, and we'll wrap it up. But explain to everybody, because I know. But what your impression of what does the kitchen look like?
It's a professional kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a commercial kitchen.
Absolutely. If you take the view way aside that you're walking into someone's 2-car garage, once you walk in there, you're like, oh, I get it now.
Yeah, dude. Even the and I forget the word for the paneling that they put up on the walls.
Drywall.
No.
Oh, like the splash guard plastic.
Yeah, because when they were building jets, when I was working there years ago, that was one of the things they had to put up, and he had that all throughout his garage. Yeah. Even down to the rubber matting that he had, it's like that stress free. You can stand on it all day long and be okay. I'm sure after a while it's not the most comfortable, but
you notice Mike's was the only chair, and the only chair that the reason that chair is there is because of his horrible surgery. Otherwise, it's a sit free zone.
But
if you wanted to sit, you could. You've got him eating out of your hand. Just to be clear.
But everything was set up.
He busts your chops, but come on now.
To where everything was, there was a station and there was a purpose for everything. And as a matter, at one point, I don't know if you heard me ask, but I saw these little dishes with, it looked almost like sand in it. And there was one at the grill. There was one at each counter. And I kept on seeing around. I'm like, so I found him, like, Mike, I'm like, what is it? He's like, oh, it's pepper. And it's clearly
salt and pepper,
and clearly not what you're used to seeing. Your table salt and regular pepper.
Yeah.
Because like I said, it basically almost looks like sand. And he's like, just so you have it right there to grab and throw throw on what you're cooking.
Just to pinch.
So he's told me, and I'm probably gonna butcher the what the denominations of it or what the actual percentage is,
but I believe it's like a 70-30, 70% salt, 30% pepper blend. And he makes sure that they're readily available anywhere that you are cooking anything. And he said it's the perfect amount that you can just throw it in, because most things are going to always need salt. And my aunt has said this for the longest time, who's a phenomenal cook. Obviously, Mike's a chef. By no stretch of the imagination is he anything less. But my aunt has always said the one difference between someone who knows how to cook and someone who doesn't, and Mike finished the sentence for me when I explained this to him, is knowing how to season food.
Yeah, and like I said, and they were at every station, everywhere I looked around, there was one of those little trays with that salt and pepper already pre-made, ready to go.
Yeah, it's an open tray. You grab it with your hand and you throw it in. It's not a grinder or of any sort, and you're not, how much pepper should I put in here? It's all pre-made. You're right, it does. It's very granulated, very small, but where you can just take a pinch of it, and which is why I don't know if you've ever noticed up in my kitchen, I have the wooden bowl of sea salt. Always.
Of sand.
No,
right?
Of sea salt. It's not a salt and pepper mix, but it's just sea salt. And that was from my aunt, because she always had one. I'm like, what is that? She was like, salt. I'm like, why do you have that much salt? She's like, well, if you're cooking enough, you need to just grab it and throw it in. And I'm like, so obviously he was taught that as well. So.
That's how you know you're not cooking enough, or where that's foreign to you. You're like, why do you have that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, clearly I don't cook enough.
Don't just need to throw salt and pepper on everything that you're cooking, but in that aspect, I can see where it would definitely be a staple of an everyday tool.
Absolutely.
Right.
If you're making food, as Mike would say, seasoning has to be layered. You can't throw salt in at the end because it's not salty enough and call it a day. It has to be, if you're making some kind of soup or something and you want to take garlic and onions and saute them and bring them down to where they're actually cooked with salt and pepper first, you layer it. And then as the different stocks and things like that you bring in, or you add other ingredients, you layer it a little bit more, and then you might finish it with more. But there's something to be said about layering seasonings. You can't just dump a bunch of salt at the end because it doesn't have enough, And there's a lot of people that don't understand that.
Oh, I could only imagine. So yes, again, just for the viewers, anyone that wants to visit Mike's Facebook page that has the links to all his other stuff, I'm gonna put up here. It's the Freelance Chef LLC. So you guys visit the page.
Is that a web page?
That's his Facebook.
All right. So on Facebook, the Freelance Chef LLC.
The Freelance Chef LLC.
Okay.
And that's that's good enough for right now. For right now, he's doing some revamping. He's attempting to actually buy a business at a commercial location, or as he says, a brick and mortar. But he's got the means to do so. He's obviously got the talent. And he's going to be looking into that. As of right now, any kind of ordering from his website is going to be postponed. But definitely, if anybody wants any kind of personal chefing, he's open to that. He's open to that in the meantime. So just reach out. His phone number and everything's on his Facebook.
But for those listeners of the podcast who do not live in Michigan, or who don't even live in the U.S., I guess I think the takeaway from this is go and meet your local chefs. Go visit your local restaurants and get to know the people that are making your food, making the food that feeds your area, your neighborhood, your sphere of influence, and get to know the what drives them. What they're passionate about, because they feed the area and they fuel the food that drives where you live. So Michael J is just an example of one of those folks. So if you don't live locally, there's Michael J's all over the world. So, Cory, I don't know how far we are into the time, but I feel like it's probably a wrap it up kind of a stabbing motion at the throat, sort of a.
Are we going to do pick of the week? You guys got one?
Well, I don't know. How far are we in? Are we at 2:30? Are we 2:15?
We're
2:10?
We're at 2:35. That's not including the break.
Yeah. Well, not all of us have pick of the week.
Okay. Well,
So
then we can.
We could save that for table for next week.
Okay.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me bring episode 85 to a close by saying that we are going to be wrapping all this stuff up. We're going to be breaking everything down, and next weekend, which would be the 15th.
Yeah, 15th, 16th, whatever.
Well, 15th is a week from today.
Yeah.
Right? So it's Saturday. So either 15th or 16th. So Saturday or Sunday, we're looking to do our a remote podcast from what some might term Ascoda, Michigan.
No.
I don't think any.
Ascada,
Usable.
Ascoda,
Usable.
Usable,
Sable.
Awesome.
Sable.
Awesome.
Sable.
Sable, Michigan.
Oh, Sable.
Oh, Sable, Michigan.
Or
No,
we
that's
could
a
go
river.
with Skoda.
Well,
Well,
potato.
people from around here might just call it Skoda.
We're going to be doing a remote podcast next weekend. We're packing everything up right now, and next week we're going to be coming at you from the lapping waves of one of the Great Lakes.
Lake Huron.
Here on.
There you go.
You're welcome.
There you go.
Definitely
It's-
Huron.
You saw what I was going for. Thank
I
you,
got
Danielle.
you.
Yep, Lake Huron, and so we encourage you to join us there, especially if you're new to the podcast, and after 2.5 hours of listening to this bullshit, you're still with us. Please stick with us next weekend and join us in this remote episode where we're going to be having a lot of fun and trying to get the best sound and video that we can from a very remote location.
Just
It will be phenomenal. I can guarantee
just so
you.
you know as well. I've
Yeah.
spoken to some people from out of state, friends, and things like that, and people from around the country, people from around the country and from out of state that don't understand Michigan, don't fully comprehend. Not only one, this is that we have the largest bodies of fresh water in the world, but to be literally on Lake Huron or one of our homes, Great Lakes, you literally cannot see the shore across this lake. We're talking about water that goes all the way to the horizon, and there's a lot of people that have no idea that there's a freshwater body that is this large. So if you're interested in seeing that and want to see some pictures,
and that and some of the beaches on top of it are
they-
more than comparable to some great Florida beaches. So.
oh, dude, they've actually said that there's in Michigan that there's a Gold Coast, and they did an overhead shot of it
Have they?
of complete sand dunes going all the way down like over in Australia, and it's just it looks very similar. Obviously, not anywhere as close as beautiful, but it's very close. It's very close. You wouldn't look at this white sandy beaches going on for miles and miles and miles and crystal clear, pristine blue waters as a large body of fresh water. You think of a lake as, oh, well, it's going to take me about 20 minutes. I can get in a pontoon and get to the other side. No, some of our lakes have gale storm winds and tropical storms. So it's crazy.
Wow, you're really selling this.
I'm telling you.
Oh, who knows what could happen here? We could be blown off
Well, we're not on Superior.
Into-
I'm saying some of them.
It could be a
into
little windy.
oblivion.
If you like the song "The Edmonds Fitzgerald" by
Yeah,
Gordon Lightfoot,
we're about to do that next weekend.
we're about to be on one of those Great Lakes, but not Superior.
Yeah, and if you'd like to listen to the Schnozzcast broadcast from the lapping waves of Lake Huron with an Australian accent, please join us next Saturday. Or maybe
Or Sunday.
Maybe Sunday.
And
Who
you
knows?
guys will be able to see that on Facebook Live at Schnozzcast 1 for the Facebook followers. And anyone that wants to go and not only check out the audio versions of the podcast, but if you prefer to see video and what we're doing in studio, you can also go to YouTube at Schnozzcast Podcast And as mentioned earlier, with Nick talking about Instagram and all the great things we're doing on there, that is Instagram at Schnozzcast.
So real quick, if anyone's in the Facebook Live or you're listening to the Facebook Live right now, maybe after the fact, you've just come in, you've realized, oh, these guys only have they have like 2 viewers at the time. This is ridiculous. Well, this is the Facebook Live. You have to imagine that we understand. We understand this is Saturday morning. This is a weekend. We're not all about Facebook Live. We do this just as an added benefit to anyone that wants to watch and kind of see what goes on behind the scenes. But if you're here, if you're watching this, if you've made it this far, God bless you for one. But I'm going to put a link to our Insta bio, which we also have on our Instagram. You may not have Instagram, but you can click on this link and go to any single one of our audio content or any application or site that we're on. So I'm putting that in right now. Just take a click on it, and you can see everything.
Just take a click on it.
Easy little click.
You can see everything.
Take a click on me.
Yeah.
So until next week, up and on.
Well, hold on. If they
Yes.
wanted to email us,
Oh,
please,
I did forget that.
Please email us. we would be so happy. We would read your shit on air like nobody's business.
Okay, everyone listening, just so you guys know, Bob has been dying
Oh my God.
for
I
85,
cannot wait.
85 episodes now to get a single email.
One email.
That's live audio from his email.
Please just those are the sounds
Even if-
of the moths flying out of my wool coat of the email address that I have.
Even if you guys send an email saying "go suck a dick," Bob
Please.
would be so happy.
Oh my God.
To have
I'd be-
opened that up during the week
I'd be ecstatic.
and then
Overjoyed.
Yeah.
come on air and say, "Guys, we got an email," and he would read it verbatim, whatever you said.
And hold on, SOB, don't send me an email that says suck a dick. You can just send a text. It's fine.
Oh, all the emails I've been sending you, you just disregard.
I'm just saying.
Anyhow,
Send an email to schnozzcast@gmail.com with your existential questions or relationship problems. We'd be happy to solve them for you.
with
that's a good one, actually.
no education or background in doing so. So
Oh, no, dude, I'm 50. I've got decades of experience.
anyhow, continuing on, we hope to see you guys from Oscoda next week. This is going to be a big thing for us. We've never done a on the road remote podcast such as this. We've done things in vehicles and things like that, but literally we're going to be on a beach with all this equipment, which I know you guys can't see behind the scenes, but we've built up a lot of things that need to be moved. So hopefully it sounds it sounds good for you guys. Hopefully it's not just going to be lapping waves
It might be.
in the background. But
It's going to be like a Christopher Cross song.
I have
2 hours.
sailing. No, so
Yes.
I feel that
Thank you, sir.
I trust in Cory in all his decision making in this.
That was your first mistake.
And Bob's all his audio equipment.
That was your second mistake.
So for Schnozzcast, I am Nick. Have a good night, everyone. Be good to yourselves and each other's. Bob,
Have a good night.
Danielle,
Good night.
Cory.
Good night, everyone. See you in a week.
We'll see you guys from the beaches of Lake Huron.